Good afternoon and welcome to Double Angel Field in Parker, Colorado. You're watching the National Adult Baseball Association, the 35 and over league on Goldmaster28.com. The Sky Sox, batting first is going to be Jim Godley, number 21. He's the shortstop. Batting second will be Alex Molita, number 14. Batting third, number 88, Scott Potts. Batting fourth, number 5, Sean McNeil. Batting is going to be number 2, Jeff Wright. Then afterwards, going to be Billy Settlemeyer. Then afterwards, going to be Kurt Fisher, number 24. Then number 4, Rick Asher. Number 12, Steve Jones will bat after him. Number 7, Kyle Way. Number 11, Ryan Barrett. And lastly, number 33, Carlos Bassi.
You have a definitely a deep lineup with the Sky Sox. The nice thing in NABA, not all the men may play in the field, but everybody does bat. So I believe that's 11 men in the lineup, and they will all bat for the Sky Sox, so they'll roll that lineup around. And here we are lining up for first pitch, Orioles and Sky Sox, NABA baseball on Goldmaster 28.
And here's the first pitch. Jim is going to take a look at that low for a ball. And who do we have out there on the field defensively for the Orioles?
Defensively for the Orioles right now, in the outfield from left to right, we have Mike Zuffaletto. In center, Marcus Fisher. Second pitch is high for a ball. In right field, it's Ken Dolly-Molly. And in the infield, from third to first, we have Bryce Fisher at third, Bill Rogan at shortstop, Garrick Sasa at second base, and Bob Carlson at first. The 2-0 pitch is in for a strike, so the count is now 2-1 on Jim Godley. And behind the plate, we have manager Steve Brower, and on the mound for the Orioles is Jason Jones.
Check swing by Jim Godley is going to be called a ball. The ball was inside. Runs the count to 3-1. Yet again, thanks for listening to Goldmasters28.com. Our game is the Sky Sox against the Orioles.
Jason Jones is the top pitcher for the Orioles. He showcases 5 different pitches.
It's going to be a pop-up to left. It's going to be an easy play out there for Mike Zuffaletto. So that's going to be the first out as Jim Godley flies out to left.
Once again, Jason Jones has 5 pitches. He showcases a fastball, curve, slider, changeup, and knuckleball. But the knuckleball, he likes to mix in that pitch every now and again in the game. It's not one he really does a lot, but he does throw it once in a while.
Exactly. Coming up next is going to be Alex Molita, and this is pretty much the top hitter for the Sky Sox. A swings and a miss on the first offering from Jason Jones.
That's a pitch there that I bet Alex Molita would like to have back, because that pitch looked like it was on the inside corner there, and I think he would have preferred to take a ball there.
And it looked like it fooled him. Looked like more was a curve on the first pitch. Second offering from Jones. It's going to be a little high. Runs the count to 1-1. Our umpires today in the infield is Wilford Padilla, and behind the plate is going to be Michael Warner as Alex takes the third offering. Runs the count to 2-1. It's a pretty good pitch there.
Looked like that was a slider tailing away, and Alex committed to it. So count is now 2-2.
Alex on the season is hitting .684, easily the team's best hitter. A very good contact hitter. As we see here, as he hits one to left, and it's going to fly right over the glove of Mike Zuffaletto. Rounding first is going to be Alex, and he's going to go for 3. The throw is going to go to Bill Rogan. He's going to throw it to third, and he is safe. Alex slides in safe.
That looked like a tough play there for Zuffaletto there, Justin.
Yeah.
They say as an outfielder, the hardest ball to judge is the one hit right at you, and it looked like he came in at first, and then the ball went over his head. And that's just a tough play. I've played outfield in my career, and that one straight at you is always the tough one to judge. So that is going to be a sliding triple for Alex Molito.
And here at Double Angel Field, the ball's going to travel a lot quicker now, especially when it hits the ground, because we're on kind of a grassy turf, what you see high schools are now going back to more taking out the grass and taking out the hard astroturf and going to more of a grassy turf. Next up is going to be Scott Potts. He takes the strike on the inside corner of the plate. The 0-1 pitch is a little bit high.
1-0. It's 2-0 now, Justin.
2-0. Okay, 2-0. Check that.
This is one of those cases as a batter, you want to do everything you can to put that ball in play and get that runner in from third base with 1 out.
Exactly, especially early in the game. So again, 2-0 count. Jason Jones with the pitch. Fastball right in there, right down the middle for a strike.
You could tell Scott Potts was definitely taking all the way there on the 2-0 pitch.
Exactly. Jason Jones looked like he was trying to throw a curveball. Seemed to got away from him a little bit. Runs the count to 3-1. Scott Potts, the second baseman, is hitting .428. Check that on the year. Looks like a low fastball called a strike. It's going to run the count full at 3-2. All right, swing and miss on the 3-2 offering from Jason Jones, and Scott Potts is the second out of the inning.
It was a good pitch by Jason Jones. Looked like a fastball up in a little bit under the hands, and Scott Potts just couldn't get around it. Good pitch, and is an opportunity for the Sky Sox. They don't want to slip by with a man on third.
Next up is going to be Jeff Wright. No, check that. It's going to be Sean McNeil, batted from the left side. Swings at the first offering from Mr. Jones.
Looks
Strike.
like Jones is starting to settle in now. I think he maybe came out of the gates a little bit trying to find that strike zone, but now he's locked back in after that triple.
That next pitch was a little bit high. It's going to run the count to 1-1. The 1-1 pitch is going to be inside. It's going to be 2-1 now, as Jason Jones gave the umpire a little bit of a stare, a little bit of a long glare after that pitch.
Yeah, he definitely wanted that pitch. You know, that's one as a pitcher. You like those corners. If they're not going to give it to you, that sure makes your day a little bit harder. And the Sky Sox need a run here with their cleanup batter up.
And a foul tip. He would look like he was right on top of that pitch. Sean McNeil just missed that one, it looked like.
As a batter, anytime you foul one straight back, you always know you were just on it, just underneath it, and that is definitely one you'd like to have back.
So now the count is 2-2 as Jason Jones shakes off Steve Brower behind the plate. The pitch is going to be low. Good block by Brower. That runs the count full.
This is one of those here where, as a pitcher, you definitely don't want to give in. You do have first base open there, so you are going to try and get him to chase a little bit, but you also want it close enough to where he will chase.
And the pitch, and it's going to be fouled off left, out of play.
That's one of those ones that I think it was a strike, and Sean did a good job of battling and fighting that ball off.
And it looked like Sean was a little bit fooled on the pitch by Jason Jones there.
Yes, it did. And you know what? As a batter with 2 strikes, he did the right thing, just battle it off.
Count is still 3-2, and here's the pitch. It's a curveball. It's going to be high, and Jason Jones walks Sean McNeil, which will bring up Jeff Wright, the catcher. A pitch runner for Sean McNeil, and it's going to be Scott Potts, who's going to be the pitch runner in for Sean McNeil.
The nice thing about the NABA is you get 3 runners per game. You can pinch run and have no penalties with the pitcher, the catcher, and then you can designate one other player on the team for that pinch runner.
And Scott definitely has a little more speed out there in the base pass, so it's going to be very good for the Sky Sox right now with runners on the corners. And J.C. Jones throw the ball back to first.
Scott Potts back with plenty of time.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that was just a check me throw. I don't think there was any intent on that one.
Oh, exactly. Making sure that Scott doesn't take too much of a lead. The first pitch is going to be just a blooper. Right down is going to be caught by the second baseman, Garrick Salsa, and that's going to end the inning. So after 1 inning of play, they had The Sky Sox had 2 hits. Actually, after the top of the first, the Sky Sox had 2 hits but no runs. And that remains the score 0-0. We'll be right back after these. After a little bit, you'll listen to NABA Baseball on GoldMasters28.com. And welcome back to NABA Baseball on GoldMasters28.com. I'm Justin Hadams here with Casey Bloyer. After the top of the first inning, our score here is 0-0, and the Orioles are going to be up to hit in the bottom of the first inning. Going through the lineups for the Orioles, batting first is going to be Jason Jones, number 44. Batting second, number 13, Garrick Salsa. Batting third is going to be Steve Bauer. Batting fourth is Joppy Willis. Batting fifth, Ken Dolly-Molly. Batting sixth is Marcus Fisher. Batting seventh is Bryce Fisher. Batting eighth is Bob Carlson. And batting ninth is Mike Zufaletto.
Just a real correction there, Justin. Batting fifth is Bill Rogan, and Ken Dolly-Molly will be batting sixth. So Bill Rogan fifth, Ken Dolly-Molly sixth. And we are ready for the first pitch from Billy Settlemeyer.
Stepping up to the plate is going to be Jason Jones. And the pitch is going to be a fly ball in foul territory to right. It's going to fall out of play for a foul.
Defensively, Justin, from left to right in the outfield for the Sky Sox, you have Scott Potts, Alex Moletto, and Rick Asher. And in the infield at third is Steve Jones. Shortstop is Jim Goodley. Second base, Kurt Fisher. And first base, Sean McNeil. Behind the plate is Jeff Wright, and on the mound is Billy Settlemeyer.
And Billy Settlemeyer has a lot of good pitches to throw. Jeff Wright was talking very highly of him. As Jason Jones pops this up again out of play, it looks like, in foul territory. It's going to fall again out of play as Steve Jones was giving chase.
Billy Settlemeyer, he has 3 pitches, and they may not be as much as many pitches as his battery made out there today, but he does throw a fastball, a curveball, and changeup, but he throws all 3 very well. And when you throw those type of pitches and you mix your speeds, you're going to be successful.
The 0-2 pitch looks like a curveball that floats outside, runs the count down to 1-2. Jason Jones is batting .333 on the season, as the offering is going to be low, runs the count down to 2-2. Jason Jones has 3 hits, 6 runs, and that's it. Hasn't hit a double, a triple, or a home run this year. And the 2-2 pitch is going to be high and outside, look like a curveball that just didn't curve in the strike zone.
With no, looks like with Jason just all singles, he's your prototypical leadoff hitter. You just want him on base.
And there you go. That hit's going to fly to center. What a good catch right there by Alex Molita. And that's going to be the first out in the inning.
That was a ball that was diving fast, and Alex Molita read it very well and made a nice sliding catch on his knees, kept the ball in front of him, caught the ball with 2 hands. Great, great play by Alex Molita.
And that's going to bring up Garrick Salsa, the second baseman, number 13. Garrick is hitting .448 on the season with 13 hits. And the first pitch he's going to look at it. He's going to take it low.
Garrick Salsa stands 5 feet 9 inches tall and is 180. And not only does he bat right, as we can see, he throws right in the field.
And the 1-0 pitch is going to be a drive foul. It's going to be out of play to left. Makes our count 1-1.
That was a changeup there, and it looks like Garrick was sitting on a fastball, and you could tell because he was way out in front of that pitch, and he drove it foul a ways.
Garrick also has 2 doubles on the season, and he's tied for the lead on the team with 7 RBIs. So Garrick's going to step out of play as he calls time.
He had some questions for the umpire. I can't really tell what he's asking him, but as he steps out again.
Has some words for Michael Warner. That's the umpire behind the plate, and now we're back in the 1-1 pitch. It's going to be a strike right down the middle. Looked like a curveball.
It's definitely a good pitch, well placed. It was towards the middle out of the plate.
And the 1-2 pitch is going to be a pop-up in foul territory. It looks like that's going to get out of play also, and it will. Count remains the same at 1-2.
Looks like Garrick's having a little bit of a hard time staying back on the pitch. You know, a lot of these guys have played a lot of baseball in their life, and the hardest thing as a baseball player is the fast stuff's not a problem, but it's the slower stuff that you got to slow down on, and it gets tough a little bit holding up on that ball.
Especially earlier in the pitch, Billy seems to be throwing, earlier in the count, he was throwing a lot of fastballs, as the 1-2 pitch is going to be a curveball. It's going to float high and outside, runs the count to 2-2. And it seems like he had a fastball earlier in the count, and ever since then, Garrick has just been in front of the baseball.
Yeah, he had a fastball earlier, and the pitcher got ahead of him, and now we're even in the count, so it'll be interesting to see what Billy Settlemeyer throws here.
Well, he throws, looks like another changeup, and that ball is going to fly out of play to left. Yet another play that Garrick, another pitch, excuse me, that Garrick looked like he was out in front of.
And you can see home plate umpire Michael Warner look over to the dugout saying, I need more baseballs.
Exactly.
This is an NABA game. They run out of baseballs real quick, so he's calling out for some baseballs.
If they run out of baseballs, we may be delayed for another hour over here if that happens. The 2-2 pitch. It's going to be a fastball low in the dirt. It's going to run the count full.
There's been a good battle between the pitcher and the batter here. You got a full count. Garrick has fouled off a couple pitches, and he's trying to get that fastball. So we'll see if Billy Settlemeyer throws him a fastball on this full count.
And the pitch is going to be swung and missed. The ball's going to hit the dirt, and the catcher's going to throw the ball to first base. And that's going to be the second out in the inning.
Looked like there that Billy Settlemeyer finished him off with a changeup once again, and it's one of those things where he was out in front of the ball, and catcher Jeff Wright did a great job keeping the ball in front of him and throwing it down to first baseman.
And one of the things that Jeff was talking to me about yesterday as I spoke with him was how Billy allows him to call the game, and it seems like the changeup was working for him during that sequence there, and so going back with the changeup really worked well for him. So batting third is going to be Steve Brower, who hits the ball to short. He makes the strong throw to first, and that's going to be a third out in the inning. Making the throw there is Jim Godley, and that's going to end the first inning. After one inning of play, the score, Sky Sox nothing, Orioles nothing. You're listening to NABA Baseball on GoldMasters28.com. 0-0 ball game here at Double Angel Field. The Sky Sox against the Orioles. We're in the top of the second. And so far we've seen a pretty good exchange of a pretty good first inning there. Had runners on the corners the first inning for the Sky Sox, and they weren't able to cash it in. Alex Molita had a triple. And then Sean McNeil was walked. And they had runners on the corners. And Jeff Wright, he popped out to second to Kurt Fisher.
Yeah, in the first inning, the Sky Sox left 2 on. You never want to do that. It always frustrates you a little bit.
And check that, there was Garrick Salsa. Next up is going to be Kurt Fisher. Check, that's going to be Billy Settlemeyer. And that ball is going to be hit out of play to left.
That one, he was a little bit behind on the pitch. And so when it was a fastball, I don't think he was ready for the fastball there.
It's an 0-1 count. And the pitch is going to be ripped right at the right fielder. And a great catch, a sliding catch. Now it's going to be the first out of the inning. A great catch by Ken Dolly Molly.
That's the second catch we've seen, Justin, by an outfielder sliding on his knees. You know, this field turf that they're playing on, this is not natural grass, ladies and gentlemen. This is actually field turf. And Ken Dolly Molly did a great job sliding on his knees to make that catch.
Now next up is going to be Kurt Fisher, the second baseman. Takes a look at the first offer and he swings away, and that ball is going to be hit to right and is going to be out of play as Bob Carlson was giving chase.
That was a pitch there that got in on Kurt a little bit, and you could tell because he was shaking his hands a little bit, shaking that ball off.
So the count is 1 strike on the second baseman. The next pitch is going to be low from Jason Jones. It runs the count to 1-1.
Kurt Fisher, second baseman for the Sky Sox. He was originally from Bridgeport, Connecticut, and now he resides in Reunion, Colorado.
Wow. And he's going to take a swing and a miss on that 1-1 offering. Makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Looks like Jason Jones has made a conscious effort to throw 2 fastballs this inning.
And it looks like a changeup there that's going to be fouled off behind home plate. Actually, it was closer to our way if it wasn't for the screen, the netting here.
The netting in this brick building we're standing in kind of helps us, Justin.
Kind of helps the brick building and the windows here also.
All I know is when I was walking up looking at this brick building, I thought I was going to be burning up in here, and it is quite comfortable. A lot hotter on the field.
Exactly. It's about 85 degrees out there on the field. The 1-2 pitch is going to be fouled off yet again.
At game time, our weather was, and it still is actually, a 91-degree ball game right now. So it is a warm one out there for these gentlemen playing on the game.
And what does that do, especially as you get older? What does that do during the game?
Well, it just goes back to anything that, you stay hydrated, especially on that field turf. That field turf is going to get a little bit hotter. It's going to, you're going to sweat obviously more, but you just got to stay hydrated and stay in the game.
And the pitch is going to be fouled off yet again.
Kurt Fisher is doing a great job of fouling off some really good pitches here and staying alive in this at-bat.
And Jason Jones is throwing a lot of really good pitches. It looks like he's mixing up the fastball and the changeup, which is really catching Kurt Fisher a little bit off.
And the great thing about this league is these are guys who play for the love of the game.
And that's a curveball from Jason Jones that was just a little high.
Like we said earlier, this is the 35 and over league, and all these guys have paid to play in this league with the NABA, which if you want to find out, you can go to dugout.org and get all the information you're on if you want to play in NABA.
And the 2-2 pitch is going to be low. That's going to run the count full.
Which they don't, Justin, just have 35 and over. They have all leagues. They have 18 and up, 18 and open. They have, I believe, 45 and older league as well.
And another foul ball on the full count.
Kurt Fisher battling a lot of pitches here. He is just making Jones work out there on the mound.
And the best thing it looks like is the way that Kurt Fisher is making Jones have to pretty much show all of his pitches is really helping out the rest of the Sky Sox lineup.
Especially early in the game, only being in the top of the second.
And the pitch from Jones is going to be, yet again, another foul ball to play. And you were saying earlier, you don't know if we're going to have a lot of baseballs. I mean, at least there's 10 baseballs here early in this game so far that has been fouled and out of play.
I'm pretty sure all 10 have been out of the field and back in at some point.
And actually, that might be the delay in the game. We don't have enough balls so far.
I think Steve Brower, the catcher, called timeout because I think they're tired of him fouling pitches off. So they're gonna converse here and figure out what pitch that they want to throw. Maybe get something in the dirt to get him to chase. But Kurt Fisher has done a great job at fouling off a bunch of pitches, and he's trying to stay alive and get himself on base and get something started for the Sky Sox.
And out of the corner of my eye, I seen Jopie Willis fetching pretty much a couple of those foul balls as they were being thrown back into the Orioles dugout. And the pitch is going to be fouled right back into the screen.
It looks like Kurt Fisher's starting to get that timing down. Like we said, you foul ball straight back means you just missed that ball.
And the other thing interesting about NABA baseball is that all the players hit with wooden bats. You will not see any metal bats here.
Well, the standard, strike 3.
And Steve's going to throw the ball to first, and that's going to be the second out of the inning. And you were saying?
This is actually a wood bat league. In the NABA, they have all different leagues, Justin. They do have metal bat leagues along with wood bat leagues. It's great. It's a great organization to get involved with. They're nationwide. This just isn't a Colorado thing. This is something that's all across the nation. Upcoming this July 4th weekend, they've got a tournament here in town, but they have 4 tournaments across the nation that are all in the NABA. And once again, if you want to find out about this more, just go to www.dugout.org, and all the NABA information is right there.
And stepping up as looks like Jason wants a new ball from the umpire. Stepping up to the plate is going to be Rick Asher. Rick is hitting 142 on the season with 2 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. And the first pitch from Jones is going to be right down the middle for a strike. And the second pitch is actually going to be in the dirt. It's going to be 1 ball and 1 strike.
Rick Asher playing right field, the brother of Kurt. Oh, no, I correct that. We do have brothers on the team, but that's not the brother.
There's not the brother. The guy calling the game is a brother.
They're on the other team. Asher. I confused Asher with Marcus Fisher and Bryce Fisher. The third baseman for the Orioles and the center fielder for the Orioles are brothers.
And the last pitch from Jones was a strike. Runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. And here's the pitch. It's going to be a high fastball, high and inside. Count is now 2-2.
Looks like there's a little bit of a breeze out there. That may come from a little bit of comfort to the ball players out there.
Especially with the way the heat is. As a real good block there by the catcher, Steve Brower. Runs the count full at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Once again, we thank you for listening and watching this broadcast on Goalmaster 28.
And the payoff pitch from Jason Jones is a curveball, and it just missed inside.
Well, and that's a pitch that Jason Jones really wanted. You could tell by his body language after that pitch. Gave a good, long, hard look at the home plate umpire, and well, he's a little frustrated with where that pitch was.
And from up here, obviously, we're not down on the field, but from up here, it looked like it may have caught the inside part of the plate.
It was pretty close. I mean, that was a good layoff by the batter, by Rick Asher, not to commit to that pitch.
So Rick's now at first with 2 outs. As a step into the plate is Steve Jones. Steve Jones, batting from the left side, is going to take a curveball outside for ball 1. Steve Jones is batting .272 on the season so far. As the throw goes back to first base.
Great job by Bob Carlson to catch that ball over there. Jason Jones looked like it got away from him a little bit.
Definitely. But it's important, no matter who's on the base path, to make sure that you keep the guys very close at all times. And the pitch is going to be fouled off and out of play by Steve Jones.
It was a ball that he was a little bit behind but fought off. It was looked like a slider low and away, and he just made good contact to get it out of play.
Steve Jones plays third and first base. He has, out of 11 at-bats, he has 3 hits, 1 walk, and 4 strikeouts. And here's the 1-1 pitch. It's going to be ripped down. It's going to be a grounder to second. It's going to be thrown to first, and that's going to be 3 outs. So after the top of 2 innings, the score is Sky Sox nothing, Orioles nothing. You're listening to NABA Baseball on GoldMasters28.com. This number 34 looks at the first pitch outside from Billy Settlemyre.
Jopi is DHing this game. Normally he does play in the field, but he's got a wrist that's a little banged up, so he's just going to be taking some hacks tonight.
As Jopi looks at the second pitch low and inside, Jopi's hitting .458 on the season with 11 hits, 5 runs, 3 doubles, 1 triple, and a homer. He also has 7 RBIs as he looks at the second pitch from Billy outside. That's going to be 3 balls and no strikes.
Jopi Willis is a power hitter and possibly one of the better hitters in all of the league.
He shows bunts and pulls it back.
Yeah, I don't think you want your power hitter bunting, so I think he was just doing that for a look.
I think so, too.
Yes.
Also. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. to Jopie Willis. And he's going to swing and hit the ball sharply to short. And the strong throw made to first, and that's going to be the first out in the inning. Strong throw by Jim Godley.
It looked like that was a pitch there that got in a little bit on Jopie's hands, and he rolled over it right to the shortstop. And Jim Godley made a nice strong throw to Sean McNeil to get Jopie at first.
And that's going to be the first out of the inning. Next up is going to be Bill Rogan. Bill batting from the right side.
Left side.
Left side. So that's going to be the left side. Bill's batting .391 on the season with 9 hits, 4 runs as he looks at the first pitch inside and 1 double.
That looked like that Bill Rogan there was doing one of those patented, I'm going to get out of the way, but yet I'm going to lean into it a little bit. Exactly. I don't think he was trying too hard to get out of the way of that pitch.
And Bill is the type of guy who gets hit by a lot of different pitches.
He tends to crowd the plate a little bit.
And he looks at the second pitch low, and the count's 2-0. And it seems like Billy is struggling a little bit with his control to start off the bottom half of the second inning. As that pitch is going to be a strike, the count's now 2-1.
Bill Rogan was looking at that pitch. You could tell he got 2 balls, so he was not going to commit to any pitch at that point.
And the 2-1 pitch is going to be hit right back to Billy Sellemeyer, who will gain his bearings, throw the ball to first, and that's going to be the second out of the inning.
That's you know what, it's that textbook thing where we go back to with this league is these guys have a little bit of a hard time staying back on pitches, and a lot of times they get out in a little front, and Bill Rogan was waiting back on that pitch, and he could have tried to drive that pitch, but I think he was a little ahead of it and just hit it right to the pitcher.
And next up is going to be number 35, Ken Dolly Molly. He's also the DH in the game. Kid is hitting .391 on the season, and he looks at the first pitch is going to be a strike on the inside part of the plate. Ken has 6 hits on the season with 7 runs, 1 double, and 2 RBIs. And the pitch, it's going to be fouled back.
And if it wasn't for that screen, Justin, that one would have been in the window back here.
Now, last time you were saying, now, we do have the window. We have half a window open here, and we have the other side of the window open. We have one closed and one open.
That one would have went through without the screen.
Okay. Now, would you have caught the ball?
I would have. You would have dropped it.
Oh, get out of here. I was a tight end.
Exactly.
That means I have hands. And the 0-2 pitch is going to be outside for a ball. Runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes.
That was a pitch there for Settlemeyer that he probably would like to have back, get a little bit closer, and maybe get him to chase.
And the pitch is going to be low and inside. It's going to run the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, thank you for joining us. NABA. Behind the plate, and it's going to get out of play.
That was a close one there. Ken popped that ball up straight up, and Jeff Wright made a good effort, but just right out of play over the screen.
Now, the interesting thing about this game is that both managers are catchers of their respective teams.
Yeah, well, they say, Justin, that catchers make the best managers, so it does not surprise me that both of them are behind the plate calling the games. You know, in such an important game, too, with the Orioles being 2-5, Sky Sox 1-5, and you don't have a lot of games left in the season. You want to play in the postseason no matter what you are doing. So both of these teams need this win, because if they don't, it's not looking good.
And the 2-2 pitch is going to be just a little outside on the curveball, and that's going to run the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs.
Great take there, because that was a close pitch.
And another pitch is going to be fouled right behind the plate. And Billy Sellemeyer probably really wanted that pitch. Had a little bit of a facial, couple of words he had to say after that ball was thrown.
Great job by Ken Dollymala to fight that pitch off. And this is a good at bat. He's battling. He's trying to get on base.
And the payoff pitch is going to be fouled off. Looked like a changeup.
I think that one had a little bit of a hook in it there, Justin. I think that might have been the curveball. And whatever pitch it was, Ken was definitely fooled, and he fought it off, though.
And yet again, Still early in the game, what Ken is doing is definitely showing all the pitches that Billy has. And again, for the lineup of the Orioles, they're going to have a really good look at this guy as he takes that pitch high and outside. And Ken Dalimali gets to walk to first base.
And that is the first base runner for the Orioles in this game.
One time is going to be called as Bill Rogan is going to step in and run for Ken Dalimali. Just a little more speed on the base path.
Yep, and that's one of those things with the rule there that it's one of those selective pitch runners that you can get in the NABA games. You know, it's nice. It's a lot more loose on these rules. Like I said, all these gentlemen paid to play the game, so they all want to get in there and get some time on the base path.
And stepping up to the plate is going to be Marcus Fisher, who's going to take the first pitch low and outside from Billy Settlemyer. Marcus Fisher is batting .185 on the season. He has 5 hits, 3 runs, 1 triple, and 2 RBIs. As he fouls off the next offering, that runs the count to 1-1.
Good foul off there. Looks like he was a little bit behind, but that's one of those ones you just foul it off and you fight it off and live for another day.
Exactly. Our score here is 0-0. Bottom of the second inning. The 1-1 pitch is going to be a swing and a miss at a curveball from Billy Settlemyer. Makes the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Casey, if you saw with the last pitch, what Billy did was very interesting. He looked off Bill as Bill retreated back to first base and still threw it to home plate.
Yeah, Bill Rogan at first place. Yes, he did.
And the 1-2 pitch is going to be, wow, it's going to be a ball.
Billy Settlemyer wanted that pitch. He was walking off the mound heading to the dugout, and that's never a good thing to do to the umpire. It kind of makes them a little angry.
Not only was Billy walking, but I think Jeff is still walking, the catcher behind the plate, as he takes the next pitch low and inside. It's going to be 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Marcus Fisher is definitely a big-time veteran of the NABA. He's been in the NABA 8 years.
Wow. Full count with 2 outs, and Bill's going to be running on the pitch. Bill takes off, and it's going to be a curveball low and outside, and that's the 2nd straight walk given up.
That's tough there. This is one of those things that both managers talked about before the game is you want to limit the damage, and you don't want to walk batters, and that's 2 base on balls.
That's going to bring up Bryce Fisher, the third baseman. Bryce Fisher is hitting .280 on the season, 7 hits, 4 runs with 2 RBIs. He has a couple of ducks on the pond with Bill Rogan on second and Ken Dalimali on first. And a throw back to second as Bill just gets back in. Real good pickoff play, it looked like there from Billy Settlemyer.
Bill Rogan at second base. He almost got caught sleeping a little bit there. That was a close play at second base, closer than it needed to be.
And the pitch is going to be another hit right at the first baseman. What a great catch by Sean McNeil to end the inning.
Great catch. Diving, rolling catch to get them out of the jam. Great inning.
And after 2 innings of play, after that great play by Sean McNeil, our score is Sky Sox 0, Orioles 0. You're listening to NABA Baseball on GoldMaster28.com. You go.
Welcome back to NABA Baseball on GoldMaster28.com. We have a great game here for you today already. We're heading to the top of the third where the score is the Sky Sox 0 and the Orioles 0. Batting in this inning for the Sky Sox will be Kyle Way, then Ryan Barrett, and Carlos Cassidy. Stepping in now, Kyle Way to face Jason Jones.
And Jason Jones has been pitching very well so far. Has only gave up 1 hit so far in the game.
First pitch is a ball, low in the dirt.
Kyle's batting 100 on the season.
Ball 2. Looked like that was a slider that missed outside. Ooh, there was another slider on the outside corner that just missed barely.
And I don't know if it's just me, but it looks like Michael Warner's pretty much strike zone has gotten smaller and smaller as the game has progressed so far.
You know, I don't think so, Justin. I think he doesn't like that outside corner. I think he's more apt to the inside corner. And Kyle Way walks on 4 straight pitches. So he will take his base down to first base.
Yes.
That was a bit redundant.
He'll take it there.
And stepping in now is Ryan Barrett, number 11. Steve Jones in the stretch. Checks on Kyle Way at first. And throws a fastball low in the dirt for ball 1.
Ryan Barrett is hitting 66.066 on the season. He has 1 hit, and that's a single in the whole season out of 15 at-bats.
So you definitely know that Ryan Barrett wants to get going here with a good hit. Count now 1-1 on a fastball down the middle for Jones. Kyle Way on first. He reached there with a walk. There's a line drive to center that drops in for a base hit for Ryan Barrett for his 2nd hit on the season. And that was a close play at second where they almost forced out Kyle Way, but the ball was not caught by second baseman Garrick Sasa. Close play. Kyle Way almost got thrown out.
What happened was it looked like the center fielder, Marcus Fisher, kind of like a tweener. He didn't know if he was going to catch it or not, and so he didn't run immediately down to first base. And so he got pretty much kind of caught off guard once the ball fell into play, and they almost had him at second base. Garrick Sasa would have had him if he didn't drop the ball.
And Rick Asher comes in to pinch run at first base for Ryan Barrett. And now you have 2 on with nobody out, and stepping up to the plate is Carlos Cassidy to face Jason Jones.
And that ball gets away from the catcher, Steve Brower, and both runners are going to move to second and third on the wild pitch.
That's a tough one there. That's a ball in the dirt that looked like Steve Bauer did get his body in front of him, but you know, that baseball finds a way to sneak by sometimes.
Yes, it does. Carlos Bassi is hitting .307 on the season. 4 singles, 4 strikeouts, and 4 hits on the year. Looks at that offering. It's going to be 2-0 is now the count. And this is the first time that, actually it's the second time that the Sky Sox have had somebody on third base. Alex Molina was at third in the first inning.
This is the biggest scoring chance of the game for either team right here. And if you've noticed, Jason Jones is now with the men on second and third. He's now pitching out of the full. And the pitch is a strike for strike 1. So it's a 2-1 count on Carlos Bassi. The 2-1 pitch is a fly ball to center. Marcus Fisher camps up to it, makes a throw towards home. And that's going to plate the first run of the game for the Sky Sox. It's going to be a sacrifice fly for Carlos Bassi.
And tagging on the play was Kyle Way from third base.
That's one of those ones there that the Orioles, I think, knew that they weren't going to be able to have a play at the plate, so they did a good job cutting off the ball and leaving the runner leaving Rick Asher at second base.
Ryan Barrett is still on second base.
Now batting is the leadoff batter, Jim Godley. He takes a strike low in the count. And he did not like the call and asked the umpire about it.
Jim flied out to left his first time up.
Got a runner in scoring position there. With 1 out, definitely want to take a chance on these, take care of these opportunities here. And the 1-1 pitch It's going to be fouled off to the left side to make the count 1-2. This is a case where Jason Jones would like to limit the damage and get Jim Godley out here.
And even if you're Jim Godley, with the 1-2 count, a lot of curveballs has been thrown when it's a 1-2 count. If he can hit it on the right side, on the left side of the field actually, it will really help get the runner over to third base.
Godley steps out and calls time. Didn't like the time Jason Jones was taking on the mound there. He steps back in, and we are ready for the pitch. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And it's a strike 3 in the dirt. And he is out at first. Looks like Jopie Willis has taken over at first place, and he made a nice dig in the dirt over there to make sure the strikeout was complete.
And moving over to third on the play is going to be Ryan Barrett. And to me, even though Jim struck out and was thrown out at first, he still did his job to move the runner over to third.
That's one of those ones as the Orioles, you're happy about the strikeout, but you're a little frustrated that you didn't complete it at home. You had to throw it down to first to get it. But once again, great play by Jopie Willis to keep the ball in front of him and get the out at first base.
And a heads-up play on the base pass by Ryan Barrett also.
It's a base hit ripped down the line, and that will score another one for the Sky Sox. Base hit by Alex Moletto. And the Sky Sox now lead the Orioles 2-0 in the top of the third inning.
That's Alex Bolita's second hit of the game. The first time he had a triple, this time he had an RBI single. It's 2 for 2 now in the game.
And that was a great hit. He did not wait. There was a fastball that he turned on and took it down the third baseline. It was a great effort there by Bryce Fisher to try and get that ball and keep it in front of him, but the ball rolled right under his dive.
And scoring on the play is going to be Ryan Barrett. That's going to bring up Scott Potts.
They pitch over to first base to keep Alex Moletto close from Jason Jones to Jopie Willis.
And the first pitch is going to be a strike as the catcher throws it right back to first. And Steve Brower was trying to catch Alex Bolita pretty much sleeping there on the base path. And the one-strike pitch is going to be a ball. Runs the count to 1-1.
That's a pitch that was a looping curveball that just didn't have quite the snap on it there.
Jason Jones throwing to Scott Potts. The 1-1 pitch is going to be a curveball. That's going to be a strike. And the count's now 1-2. Our score here is Sky Sox 2, Orioles nothing. We're in the top of the third inning. On the bump is Jason Jones with a 1-2 count, and it's going to be fouled off behind the plate to the screen by Scott Potts.
There's a good pitch he fouled off there, Scott Potts, and this is one of those cases where Jason Jones he wants to get out of this inning and only keep the Sky Sox to 2 runs. We have 2 outs here with a man on first base.
And the ball's going to be thrown back to first. It's going to be thrown out of play. And moving all the way to third is going to be Alex Bolita as Jason Jones attempted to pick off. And let's see what we have here.
The umpire is making Alex Moletto go back to first base. I can't hear the ruling, and I don't know why. It sounds like it might be interference. Maybe he interfered with Jopie Willis, and that's why he's heading back to first base, which I didn't get a good look at it from here, but it doesn't sound like the Sky Sox are arguing too much, so it looks like the case, and it also makes a case where it just messed up my scorebook.
Definitely. Looks to be a good call from the umpiring crew here. So the count's still 1-2 strikes. Alex Bolita on first, and the ball's going to be hit left and out of play by Scott Potts.
We got another good battle going on here between Jason Jones and Scott Potts. Scott Potts struck out in his first time up. So you know he'd like to atone for that and keep this rally going for the Sky Sox.
And it's important when you have the chance to pour it on as much as you can, as that curveball is going to be low and inside. The count's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes from Jason Jones. It's a really good play there to save the ball there from Steve Brower.
Yes, it was, and keep the ball in front of him and keep Alex Mileto at first base.
Alex Mileto takes about a three-stride leadoff at first. That ball's going to be hit to second base, and it's going to be caught by Garrick Salsa. That's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. But the Sky Sox do get 2, and after the top of 3, we have the Sky Sox 2, the Orioles. In the bottom of the 3rd inning is the Sky Sox 2 and the Orioles nothing. Sky Sox had 2 runs in the top of the 3rd inning, and the Orioles look to get some more runs here. As the first pitch is taken to Bob Carlson for a strike, who is the first baseman. Bob is batting .400 on the season with 6 hits, 2 runs, as he chops that ball sharply to first, and the toss is going to be over to the pitcher, Billy Settlemeyer. Real good play there by Sean McNeil for the first out of the inning.
That's a pitch there that Bob Carlson was a little bit behind on that fastball, and he hit it right to the first baseman, Sean McNeil. Nice play. Good exchange, and good job by Billy Settlemeyer covering at first base.
It's going to be 3-4 on your scorecard, and it's going to bring up Mike Zufaletto, the left fielder.
3-1 in your scorecard.
3-1. 3-1 out of all the numbers in the world. I must be thinking football here for some reason. As the first pitch to Mike Zufaletto is a strike. And the second offering to Mike is going to be low. Runs the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike on the season is hitting .138 with 4 hits and 3 runs batted in and 3 RBIs, as he hits that ball sharply right back, comebacker, to Billy Settlemeyer, and that's going to be the second out of the inning as he throws it to Sean McNeil. And let me guess, in the scorebook, that'll be 1-3.
There you go. You know what? The first baseman and the pitcher look like they don't need anybody else out there in this game right now. Billy Settlemeyer is pitching a great game right now through 2 2/3 of innings. He walked 1 batter.
Wow. And that's going to bring up Jason Jones, who flied out to center his first time up. And Jason's going to look at the first pitch from Billy Settlemeyer. It's a curveball right down the middle for a strike.
That was a great curveball by Billy Settlemeyer. That ball had late movement and dropped right in the zone.
And Casey, what's the importance of getting the first strike no matter who the batter is? As Billy's going to rip that one down the line to left, as it's going to play under the glove of Scott Potts. And Jason Jones is going to stop at second for a double.
That is a great hit by Jason Jones, who ripped that ball down the third baseline. And it looks like that ball hit the fence and made an awkward bounce to Scott Potts, and that just got by him a little bit. That was a tough play for him. That was right there on that warning track there, and the ball just got by him just enough, and Jason Jones has himself a double, and he's now being pinch run for by number 5, Mike Zufaletto. And Justin, back to what you were saying about getting the first pitch for a strike over. It sets the whole at bat, and when a pitcher is pitching ahead in counts, he can always go to his second and third pitches, but when you pitch behind, you can't. That was actually the first hit in the game for the Orioles.
And Garrick Salsa steps up to the plate. He struck out last time. He was up, and he's going to call time just as Billy Settlemeyer was going into his windup, and he threw the ball a little high to the back of the screen, and he puts a little grin on there for the umpire.
That's one of those ones that look like one of those eephus pitches there, but that's one of those ones as a pitcher, if you're Billy Settlemeyer, you just keep your motion going and throw the ball anyway because you don't want to hurt yourself trying to stop all of a sudden.
The runner on second is Jason Jones, who got on with a double, and the first pitch is going to be a fastball outside. It looks like Billy Settlemeyer is telling Jeff Wright just to scoot a little bit outside to see if Mike Warner, the home plate umpire, could get a better look at that pitch. And the 1-ball pitch is going to be high. It's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. And do you think at all that what Garrick did by calling time while Billy Settlemeyer was in his windup, do you think that has messed up any of Billy's timing?
You know what? I don't think so. I think it's just one of those things where this is the first time the second time this game that he's pitched out of the stretch, but the first time he's pitched with a runner in scoring position. I think that has a little bit more to do with it than Garrick calling time. A lot of times when pitchers have runners in scoring position, sometimes they try to be too fine.
And the 3-0 pitch is going to be high, as Garrick was showing a bunt, and he's going to get the walk over to first base, and that's going to have runners on first and second. Garrick's also at first, Jason Jones at second, and that's going to bring up Steve Brower.
Just to correct you real quick, Justin, Jason Jones hit the double, but that's Mike Zufaletto at second base. He pinch run for the pitcher.
Steve Brower, the catcher.
The manager for the Orioles.
And not only the catcher, the manager, the big man. Last time he grounded out to short. He's going to take the first pitch for a ball. Again, our score here is Sky Sox 2, Orioles nothing. Score, we're in the bottom of the third inning with 1 out.
2 outs, Justin.
2 outs, 2 outs. And the pitch, it's going to be low and inside.
But these opportunities with 2 outs and runners in scoring positions, you don't want to let these slide by. And the Orioles, this is their first real chance, and you'd like to put up a number the half inning after the other team scored some runs.
And the pitch is going to be a curveball, called for a strike. And that makes the count 2 balls and 1 strike to Steve Brower. We have runners on first and second as Zufaletto dances at second base. And that 2-1 pitch is going to be high, 3 balls and 1 strike.
This is a point here where if you're the pitcher, Billy Settlemeyer, you definitely want to go after the catcher here because you've got Jopie Willis standing on deck there, and that's the power hitter for the Orioles.
And swing and a miss by Steve Brower. He just swung through that 3-1 pitch. It's going to make the count full with 2 outs. And obviously with 2 outs, the runners are going to be moving on the pitch.
Yes, it gives a head start to the runners. So if any ball in the gap, that generally means that the runner from first base will score.
Pretty good speed out there in the base paths. As Mike Zufaletto gets caught in a throwdown, Billy Settlemeyer throws it to Steve Jones. And that's going to be the 3rd out in the inning. Missed opportunity there for the Orioles. They're going to wish they could have that back. And after 3 innings of play, that makes the score the Sky Sox 2 and the Orioles nothing. You're listening to NABA Baseball on GoldMasters28.com. All on GoldMasters28.com. Our score here is the Sky Sox 2 and the Orioles nothing. And in case if you missed it, the last half inning, the Orioles had 2 men on base, a great chance to score with the full count and 2 outs. And unfortunately, the runner on second base, which would be Garrick, which would be actually Jason Jones.
And it was actually Mike Zufaletto because he pinch run for Jason Jones.
So a lot of different changes we have here, but he was caught in the rundown, thrown out at third base.
That's a tough one there for Zufaletto because he was going on first movement. It just was a tough play.
And it's going to bring up Scott Potts, the lefty. He struck out the last time up.
As I get organized here, you think I'd done that during the half inning.
Well, you know, the funny thing about it is we have like one window open. I had to close the other one as that pitch is going to be hit foul. And I had to close one of them because our papers here, our material that we have here is blowing all over the place.
Yes.
So it's pretty much better if we're putting cell phones, anything, Gatorade bottles, whatever we can, pins on these pieces of paper just so that they don't fly around. And the 1-1 pitch is going to be a fly ball. It's going to be hit to right. And Ken Dolly-Molly is going to make the play, and that's going to be the first out of the inning.
And that is a nice play by Ken Dolly-Molly. And Sean McNeil, who walked in his first at-bat, flies out to right. And, hey, he put the ball on the the bat on the ball and you hope for the best, but at least you're happy with contact a lot of times.
And check that. That was Sean McNeil, as you said, up to bat. That's going to have Jeff Wright step up to the plate, who's going to take a hack on the first pitch that he sees from Jason Jones, and he's going to hit that ball out of play for the first strike.
And if you remember in his first at-bat, Justin, Jeff Wright had a long at-bat and was battling with a lot of foul balls. So we'll see if he learned from his first at-bat, or if Jason Jones did, and maybe we'll see a shorter at-bat, or maybe we'll see another battle.
And the 0-1 pitch is going to be low and inside to Jason, as Jason Jones throws it to Jeff Wright.
Jeff Wright, the manager, he has been in the NABA for 10 years, so he's definitely a veteran to this league, and he grew up in the Colorado area, graduating from Gateway High School.
And is a firefighter. A firefighter, as he takes that ball.
Which pretty much means he's a hero. We appreciate our firefighters and our police officers and all our servicemen and women who take care of us.
And I had a chance to talk to Jeff a little bit, and he was telling me about how he was actually going to get 4 degrees as he swings at that last pitch. And that's going to bring 2 strikes, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and 4 degrees overall.
And he has, I believe he has 4 kids, so he pretty much said if I have 4 degrees, they pretty much have no excuse, but they better go to school.
Exactly. And the pitch is going to be low from Jason Jones, and the count's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice day here from Double Angel Field. Our score here is 2-0. Sky Sox, as that pitch is taken at I don't know what that pitch missed at. I guess it was high and inside.
It looked a little bit inside, but the umpire's been pretty consistent the whole game, so Jeff Wright's going to take his walk and head on down to first base.
And no matter how much Jason Jones will give more of a stare or a glance back at the home umpire, Michael Warner, he's been, as you said, very consistent in the game, and Jeff Wright is going to take the free pass to first. And he's going to be substituted.
Pinch run for
by Sean McNeil. And stepping up to the plate is going to be Billy Settlemeyer, the pitcher. As the throw goes back to first, the runner gets back there safely. Billy Settlemeyer flied out to right his first time up. That was in the 2nd inning. As he's going to look at the first pitch from Jason Jones, it's going to be high and outside for ball 1.
Billy Settlemeyer flew out to center in his first at-bat. He's a man on first with 1 out, so he'd like to keep something going here and add on to the Sky Sox 2-0 lead.
And the runner takes his lead from first. He's going to run to second, and Billy is going to hit the ball, and it's going to be a pop-up to second. I don't think the runner knows about it. It's going to be a catch for Marcus Fisher. He's going to throw it to first to Bob Carson, and the inning-ending double play. And what you going to call that? We're going to call that 8-3 inning double play there.
What a great double play to end the inning. And at the end of the top of the 4th, it is the Sky Sox 2 and the Orioles nothing. You are watching NABA baseball on GoalMaster28.com.
GoalMasters28.com, and me and Casey were having a real good discussion. First of all, our score at the bottom of the 4th inning is Sky Sox 2 and the Orioles nothing. And now, look, I have big feet, okay? I have a size 15 shoe, and it's trying to fit into a size 14 shoe. So sometimes after a while, after standing, we only have 1 stool up here.
Sounds like a personal problem, Justin. Steve Brower is now stepping into the box.
He's going to take the first pitch low.
And if you remember, Justin, Steve Brower was having a lengthy at-bat in the bottom of the 3rd when Mike Zuffaletto was caught trying to steal third base.
He's going to take that second pitch for a strike. It's going to be 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, hold on. Now, you're telling me you have never bought a shoe that was 1 shoe size smaller just so you could save a little bit of money?
No, I use my head.
It's going to be a 1-1 count to Steve Brower. It's going to be a chopper right off the plate, that's going to go right back to the pitcher. And that's going to be the first out of the inning as Billy Settlemeyer makes the play and the throw to Sean McNeil.
That was a case where that artificial turf right there bounced the ball right up to the pitcher and he made a nice throw. And speaking of artificial turf, there's a great radio show on here in town that you ever want to hear. You can go to turfsports.net to check out what artificial turf sports is all about. Great sports talk show on in the Denver area on Sunday nights. And
next up is going to be Jopie Willis, who's going to take a hack at the first pitch. That ball's going to be picked up by the shortstop, Jim Godley, as he throws it to Sean McNeil for the second out of the inning. That was a great play, moving to his left by Jim Godley to reach down, grab the ball, and throw out Jopie Willis. What a great play. And even as you talk about with the artificial turf, plays like that, with the artificial turf, the ball's going to move a whole lot faster to the infielders, especially when they're on the ground. And that was the second time that Jopie Willis grounded out to the shortstop. And Bill Rogan takes strike one from Billy Settlemeyer. Yeah, takes it on the outside part of the plate. That makes the count 1 strike. And last time up, Bill Rogan, as he gets hit by the pitch from Billy Settlemeyer. You know, and you said it the first time he was up, Justin, that Bill Rogan does get hit by pitch a whole lot. And there was a case where that curveball didn't break, and because Bill Rogan stands over the plate so much, that ball just went right into his back. And the type of guy who definitely crowds the plate and seems to be hit by a whole lot of pitches. Bill Rogan getting hit by a pitch. Bill Rogan's also a well-known author here in town. He's written books, Turf Tales, More Turf Tales, and Indian Summer. And if you can, check him out online. He's also on that turfsports.net, and you can check out his blog at mysteriouswalker.blogspot.com. And that's going to be the first strike to Marcus Fisher. Actually, that's going to be Ken Dollymolly. Ken Dollymolly, check that. And that's going to be the 4th hit by pitch on Bill Rogan this season. Ken Dollymolly, his first time up, he walked. As he takes that next pitch for a ball, it's going to be 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Our score is Sky Sox 2, Orioles nothing. You're watching NABA baseball on GoldMasters28.com as Ken Dollymolly hits one high to shortstop, and it's going to be caught by Jim Godley. So after 4 innings of play, a real good pitching duel we have here as the Sky Sox are up 2-0 on the Orioles. You're watching NABA baseball right here on GoldMasters28.com. Our score here, going into the top of the 5th inning, is the Sky Sox 5 and the Orioles nothing. And a pretty good pitching matchup that we have here so far. Yeah, Jason Jones had that one tough inning in the 3rd, but he's been very impressive along with Billy Settlemeyer for the Sky Sox. You have a great pitcher's duel going on right now. And stepping up to the plate is going to be Kurt Fisher, who's going to look at a ball. He struck out his first time up at bat. And the second baseman is going to take a hack at the 1-0 offering from Jason Jones. This is another at-bat, Kurt Fisher in his first one. It was a long battle with Jason Jones where Jones eventually won, but it was a tough at-bat for Jones. And it counts 1-1. The 1-1 offering from Jason Jones looks like a changeup. Is that actually strike 3 or is that strike? No, that's strike 2. Strike 2. Kurt Fisher was not happy with his performance on that one as he took the bat and hit himself in the head. And the way he was walking back made me think, like, did I read that wrong? Was that strike 3? I'm just impressed he hit himself. I do that to myself. I'm falling over. Well, you know, hit with the nub of the bat. The 1-2 pitch from Jason Jones. It's going to be a rocket right down the center. A grounder between short and second. And it's going to be a hit for Kurt Fisher. That was a great hit by Kurt Fisher. That was a fastball out over the outside corner of the plate, and he just hit it back where it came from and hit it right back up the middle. That was a good, solid hit. Did that look like a fastball to you? Yes. And kind of a pitch that he really set back on and was waiting to hit. And usually earlier in the game, you see a lot from Jason Jones. A lot of the guys were fouling off balls, kind of looking foolish on a lot of his pitches. He went to a fastball there, and it was hit pretty hard by Kurt Fisher.
And the Orioles, you got to be tough now because the last time the Sky Sox got the leadoff batter on, they scored 2 runs in that inning.
And Jason Jones throws the ball back to first as Kurt Fisher retreats back to the base.
Rick Asher's up, and his first time up, he walked.
And another throw back to first base, trying to keep Kurt Fisher close to the first base. And Kurt Fisher dancing a little bit at first. It's going to be a curveball from Jason Jones. Check that, and that's going to be a ball on the inside part of the plate. Rick Asher walked his first time up. Number 4, the right fielder, made a pretty, has a couple of good plays in this game so far, as that curveball from Jason Jones falls in there for a strike, and it counts 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, our score here is 2-0. Sky Sox in the top of the 2nd inning. The ball gets thrown back to first base. Score started with a fly ball, actually a sacrifice fly from Carlos Bassi in the 3rd inning, and also an RBI single from Alex Molita in the 3rd inning also. It's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike is going to be the count.
Here's a case where, Jason Jones doesn't want another base runner, so he's going to go after Rick Asher.
Yeah, and as you say right there, a fastball, swing and a miss by Rick Asher, and it counts now 2 balls and 2 strikes. And yet again, earlier, Jason Jones was ahead as he throws a curveball, a great pitch to Rick Asher, who strikes out. It's going to be first out of the inning. And the ball is going to be thrown by Steve Brower, was thrown back to Bob Carson, just to make sure that Kurt Fisher wasn't taking too much of a lead off of first. It's going to be first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Jason Jones.
Steve Jones.
Steve Jones. Check that, Steve Jones.
Who grounded out to the second baseman in his first at-bat.
And he looks at a curveball high for ball 1.
After that strikeout, Jason Jones is looking for a ground ball, and he'd really like to induce a double play here. And the Orioles have the shift on. They're playing for Steve Jones to pull, so it looks like a little scouting's been going on by the Orioles.
Looks like a little Jason Jones play as the ball's going to be thrown to second. Kurt Fisher has the stolen base there, as the throw was a little bit late by Steve Brower.
And that looked like a case there where Kurt Fisher was kind of on the delayed steal there. He got a little bit of secondary lead, and then he took off. And once again, the Orioles, I'm surprised that they're still staying with that shift with a man on second now.
And the pitch is going to be a pop-up to the pitcher, Jason Jones, who makes the catch. And that's going to be second out of the inning.
Boy, that pop-up was sky high. That ball hit straight up into the air. And right away, Jason Jones calling everybody off to make that play. That's something that's a little bit different in this league, the 35 and older leagues. Not too quiet like the bigs, because in the bigs, the rest of their players be chewing out the pitcher for trying to make that play. And
exactly.
These guys are players out here, and they're going to do what they have to make that out.
Be a pop fly to first base. I mean, not to first base, but a pop fly to the pitcher. And that's going to bring up Kyle Way, who takes a look at a strike. Kyle walked his first time up and scored on the sacrifice fly from Carlos Bassi. And the curveball is going to be fouled off. It's going to run the count to 0-2.
And Kyle Way, his first time up, he walked, and he scored on his walk. So he's one of the 2 runs scored by the Sky Sox.
And Jason Jones, who has a runner on second, Kurt Fisher, got to second on a stolen base after he had a base hit. Time up.
There was a fastball there from Jason Jones that Kyle Way looked like he was a little behind on and fouled it off to the right side.
And it's important just to foul off any type of pitches as you can.
Especially when you're 0-2.
Exactly. As you would tell the kids pretty much, from any level of where you're at, anytime you have 2 strikes, you need to be protecting the plate as best as possible, no matter what the pitch is. And the 0-2 offering from Jason Jones. It's going to be a curveball that's going to be, is it going to fall? It's just going to fall right in front of the left fielder. That's going to be a hit. Bill Rogan giving chase. Couldn't catch up with the ball there.
That was a case there, Justin, on that pitch. That was a ball, had eyes, and it dropped right in front of Bill Rogan, right behind Bill Rogan in front of Mike Zufaletto. That's a tough play. That's a tough one as a pitcher. You know you made the right pitch, you've jammed the batter, but yet that ball still finds a way to drop in.
And that's the second time this inning that Jason Jones has been ahead of a batter, and the batter has gone on with the base hit.
Yes.
But anytime you hit it out there between the left fielder, the third baseman, and the shortstop.
That no man's land.
No man's land. It's kind of like the Bermuda Triangle where it just disappears and nobody's going to have a chance to get at that ball.
Baseball can be a cruel game because there's times where you hit it like that and it finds Hall, and there's other times where you hit it right on the numbers and yet right out of a baseman, right at a fielder, and he's going to catch it.
And next up is going to be Ryan Barrett, who had a single his last time up. He's going to look at a ball there.
Ryan Barrett's the second run that's scored for the Sky Sox. So not only does he have a run, he has, I believe, he has the RBI.
And the ball's going to be thrown back to first base. Jason Jones throwing to first. And Bob Carlson kind of waits there a little bit, hoping that Kyle Way would take any part of his body off the base so he could tag him out. And it's going to be, that's a very interesting move that Jason Jones just did. The kind of look to third, go back to first base. It rarely works, but every now and then you see it work.
I believe Jeff Nelson of the New York Yankees and the Seattle Mariners is the one who kind of made that play famous.
That ball's going to be hit over the head of the second baseman, and that's going to bring home the third run as Ryan Barrett checked that. Has an RBI single. Moving to second is going to be Kyle Way.
And that's the second RBI single for Ryan Barrett this game. And he's now going to be pinch run for by, I believe that is Steve Jones, I believe. But I could be wrong.
It may be Rick Asher.
Yes, I believe you're right. Number 4, yes. Rick Asher will run for Ryan Barrett.
And stepping up to the plate, one of the guys who has an RBI in the game, Carlos Bassi, who has 2 men on, and he's going to take a hack at the first pitch. Looked like a curveball as he's going to foul that one out of play. And actually, Casey, Alex Bolita has the other RBI as he hit a ball to the left in the third inning.
Yes, yeah, thank you, because I had Ryan Barrett making the RBI, and that was incorrect.
Well, now Ryan does have an RBI.
He does, but he didn't have the first one that I was calling.
So our runners are first and second, and that ball's going to be hit right back to the fence behind the plate. And now Carlos Bassi is down in the count 0-2. Our score here in the top of the third inning is the Sky Sox 3, Orioles nothing. Runners on first and second. Carlos Bassi is going to take a look at that 0-2 offering. It's going to be down low for a ball. It's going to be 1 ball and 2 strikes.
There's a case here where you have 2 outs in the inning. You got a runner on first and second. Your team's down 3 runs. You really want to get back in the dugout and get your team back up to the plate.
And that's going to be another ball low. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This is a case last time with Carlos Bassi. I believe he waited out his pitches and made a good contact last time.
And it's going to be a pop-up to second. Bill Rogan's going to call for the ball. He makes the catch. It's going to be a pop-out to short, and that's going to end the inning. After 5.5 innings of play, our score is the Sky Sox 3 and the Orioles nothing as the Sky Sox score 1 there. You're listening to NABA Baseball on GoldMasters28.com. We were talking about this in the break, Casey. Billy Settlemyre has pitched at a gym so far in this game.
Yeah, he has. Billy Settlemyre has only given up 1 hit in this game, 2 walks and 1 hit by pitch, and he pretty much has been the story of this game right now because he has done everything in his power to shut down the Orioles and their batting.
First pitch was low, and the second pitch is going to be low yet again. The count's going to be 2 balls and no strikes to Marcus Fisher.
And I correct that there are 3 walks, not 2. Marcus Fisher took a base on balls in his first at-bat as well.
And the curveball is going to be laid in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike is now the count.
Marcus Fisher, who resides in Castle Rock, Colorado, and he was a big athlete in high school. He played baseball, golf, and basketball as he rips that ball foul down the third baseline for the second strike.
Just a little bit ahead of that ball.
Just a little bit. Boy, he put the bat on it, though. He hit it hard.
And you know, that's another thing that we're talking about with Billy Settlemyre is that's probably one of the rarest times that we have seen a ball from Billy actually hit pretty hard in this game so far.
Yes, well, we're getting the later stages of the game. We're in the 5th inning here, and this is where you can see a pitcher push through or maybe get a little tired. And with that case, Billy Settlemyre strikes out Marcus Fisher, and I think he answered the little tired question from me.
Exactly. And that's going to be the first out of the inning.
And amazingly enough, Justin, that was Billy Settlemyre's first strikeout of the game. Oh, no, it was the second. I stand corrected. But only 2 Ks. The way he's been pitching, he's pretty much, you can tell he's relied on his defense behind him. And, you know, in this league, it's a lot about pitch to contact and let you guys play behind you.
And you know what? And he's allowing, as pitching to contact, his fielders are definitely staying in the game, and they're doing a great job. A couple of great plays. There was a great backhand play earlier in this game by Jib Gottlieb at shortstop. And stepping up to the plate is going to be number 21, Bryce Fisher.
The younger brother of Marcus Fisher, who just struck out. Also in high school, Bryce played baseball, golf, and basketball himself, so it sounds like the brothers had a big competition going on there between the two.
And there's nothing wrong with that as he takes the ball outside, a little like a curveball that just didn't curve within the strike zone.
Bryce in his first at-bat lined out to the first baseman.
And the pitch is going to be a strike on the inside part of the plate. It's going to be 1 ball and 1 strike is the count. And the pitch. It's going to be a curveball outside. A great catch there by the catcher, Jeff Wright.
Yeah, it looked like he got maybe a little mixed up on that pitch, and he reached out and made a nice play.
And 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. Another outside. It actually was 3 balls, 1 strike. So check that. And that's going to be a walk issued by Billy Settlemyre, and Bryce Fisher's going to head to first.
It was a nice at-bat there for Bryce Fisher, who pretty much didn't have to worry about offering. All those pitches were outside, and he just took his medicine and walked right on down to first base.
And what was interesting about that exchange is the only strike out of that whole sequence was actually a curveball on the inside part of the plate. Coming up to the plate now is going to be Bob Carlson, the first baseman. And he looks at the first pitch, and another fastball strike on the inside part of the plate. Our score here is the Sky Sox 3 and the Orioles nothing. As Billy looks off the first baseman, and Bob is going to hit the ball hard to center. It's going to be a routine fly ball caught by Alex Bolita, and that's going to be the first out, actually the second out, check that, of the inning.
So the case there where Bob hit the ball right on the numbers, but, you know, in baseball it's not always kind. He hit it right at somebody, and Alex Molito made a nice play. He took basically 1 step to his right, and he was right there for the play. So 2 down in the inning now.
We don't call that tough of a play in the game, but you know what? Sometimes the routine plays are the hardest plays.
You know, I said earlier in the game, as an outfielder, those balls hit right at you. Those are the toughest ones to judge.
And stepping up to the plate is Mike Zufaletto, who's going to hit the ball high. It's a pop-up. Let's see who's going to get it. Calling off everybody is going to be Rick Asher, who makes the catch, falling down to his knees, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. Well, the Orioles had a hit by Bryce Fisher in the inning, but no harm, no foul, as he can't make it past first base. And after 5 innings of play, our score, the Sky Sox 3 and the Orioles nothing. You're listening to NABA Baseball right here. Actually, you're watching You are watching NABA Baseball on GoldMasters28.com. Stick around. 35 League here on GoldMasters28.com. I'm Justin Adams along with my partner, Casey Bloyer. Our score here is the Sky Sox 3 and the Orioles nothing as we enter the top of the 6th inning. And on the mound is still Jason Jones, who's going to throw the first ball to Jim Gottlieb, as that ball is going to be hit just fouling out of play to the third baseman, Bryce Fisher.
Jim Gottlieb, Justin, is 0 for 2. He flew out to left his first at-bat and struck out in his second at-bat.
And now that it's getting a little bit later in the game, going to the top of the 6th inning, what's the importance of the Orioles shutting down the Sky Sox here and making sure that this 3-0 deficit doesn't get any larger?
Well, you're already down 3 runs, so you definitely don't want to. You already dug yourself a hole as that ball bounces past the catcher, Steve Brower, and you don't want to make that hole that much tougher to dig out of. So you want Jason Jones to throw strikes and your defense to play well behind him, so you can get back 3 up, 3 down, and get back in that dugout and get your at-bats.
And the 1-1 pitch is going to be a chopper again down to third. Bryce Fisher makes the play, makes the throw, and that ball is not going to be handled by Bob Carlson. A little bit of a short hop.
It's a tough play there.
Yeah,
that's an in-between hop for Bob Carlson there, and that's a case there where Bryce Fisher, I think he maybe rushed his throw a little bit and he had a little more time. But you know what? That's a tough play, and they, I think both of them will tell you from their standpoint they both probably should have made a little bit better play on that one.
Well, now there's now a run on the first as Jim Gottlieb is on first. Alex Molina, 2 for 2 in the game, had an RBI single to left. His last time up, he looks at the first pitch ball. And Alex is one of the players that Jeff Wright was talking about, the manager for the Sky Sox, as one of the unanimous all-stars on the team. Yeah,
if you talk to Jeff Wright, everybody on the team really likes Alex, and they just really appreciate what he does and the hard work he does. Alex originally from Miami, Florida, and he actually makes his home here in Westminster now.
And the ball was thrown back to first base as Bob Carlson applies the tag to Jim Gottlieb.
And Alex, just an all-around athlete. He played football, and he also wrestled in high school. And some of the toughest guys I know are wrestlers.
Speaking of how you did that yourself, Casey.
Yeah, but I wasn't tough.
As that ball's going to be ripped just foul. And running on the play was Jim Gottlieb. And that's the type of play where if that ball gets inside of the line, because Jim Gottlieb was taking off on the pitch, he was going to score.
Yes, he was. And that's a case there where you got the guy up right now who's 2 for 2, and he's looking to gain on that. And I think Jason Jones wants to be a little bit more careful with his pitches in this at bat.
And the pitch is going to be inside for a ball.
That's a pitch there that Jason Jones wanted. You could tell he was looking back at the umpire once again, wanting that pitch.
And now the pitch, and Bob Carlson just dropped the ball, or else he had Jim Gottlieb there with the throwback to first, as Jim was actually taking off a little bit towards second base and was almost caught.
I think it's a case where Bob, he was trying to get the tag so fast, I think he just, the ball got a little behind him. So that's a tough play, but boy, I bet the Orioles sure want that one back.
And here's the pitch to Alex Molina, who's going to hit this ball. It's going to be a chopper, and it's going to get over the third baseman's head, Bryce Fisher, for a base hit. And Alex is now 3 for 3 in the game as Jim Gottlieb moves to second base.
Well, Alex, what a great afternoon for him. 3 hits, a triple and 2 singles. And he pretty much is, the Orioles have not found a way to get him out.
And all 3 of his balls, actually, that he has hit in this game have all went to left field. So if you're talking about applying a shift on somebody, maybe you should put it on Alex Molina to left.
You don't really want to shift away from the first base that you're going to have to throw to. So I think you're going to stay that way. So the shift only generally goes with left-handers.
Exactly. And now stepping up to the plate is going to be Scott Potts, who's going to hit the ball sharply to Bill, who's going to throw the ball to second, and the throw to first is going to be over the head of Bob Carlson, as that ball is now going to be out of play. And
Bill Rogan arguing that the runner interfered with the runner at second base.
And now let's see what the call is going to be here.
As the umpires are going to talk to each other. Bill Rogan still asking both umpires to talk to each other a whole lot.
As of right now, we have a runner on base, and Bill doesn't seem happy about that call from the infielder Wilford Padilla at all. And they're going to be a conference at on the mound. One thing that we know is there is an out at second. So that's just going to be the first out of the inning.
So, but on the play, Jim Godley scores on the play. And Scott Potts is going to be on second base after the throw from Garrick Sasa went into the dugout and accidentally actually hit our cameraman, Phil. So Phil bouncing back over there in the dugout.
Phil Mildren taking one for the team, as we like to say here. I don't think Kyle Fino, who is the owner here, the leader here for Goldmasters 28, is going to be a little bit too happy about that. Back to the game action, though, as a strike was called there. The throw is going to be thrown back to second base. And the count's going to be 1 strike and no balls to Sean McNeil,
who is 0 for 1 in the game. He walked in his first at-bat, first plate appearance. It's not an at-bat when you walk, and he flew out to right in his second at-bat as he pulls that ball foul down the first baseline.
And it makes the count 2 strikes with 1 out.
On the play that the Sky Sox scored, Bill Rogan was contending that Alex Molita interfered with Garrick Sasa's throw to first base, and therefore both runners should have been out, but the umpires did not see it that way.
And asking for time, it's going to be Sean McNeil. Sean McNeil having a little bit of a conversation with the home plate umpire. And here's the pitch. It's going to be a grounder right back to second, and caught it a rundown. And the runner's caught a rundown as Bill Rogan throws the ball back to third, check that. And now we just have an old-fashioned pickle. Let's see what happens. They could get him. And tagging him out on the play is going to be Bill Rogan, and that's going to be number 88, Scott Potts, who is out on that play.
And if you're scoring at home, good luck, because I lost count of who everybody caught that ball. So you're just going to put that he was out on a pickle. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, out on a pickle.
And great play by Sam McNeil in that place, though. Even though on second base was Scott Potts, Sam McNeil made sure to get into scoring position at second.
And that's a heads-up play by Jason Jones to go after the runner and actually to check the runner as soon as he got the ball, a comebacker right back to him. That's going to be 2 outs, and stepping to the plate now is going to be Jeff Wright, who is the manager and catcher for the Sky Sox. And I think if you're going to actually score that at home, it's going to be 1, 6, 7.
Not 7. It was 1, 6, 5, 4, 6. Ooh, yeah, we did good.
There we go. All right. Not bad.
That's a lot of numbers. I mean, you got to remember that I went to Shadron State, and we didn't do a whole lot of counting up there.
And I went to CU. We did a little bit better, but all those algebraic expressions, not exactly my thing. As Jeff Wright looks at the first pitch, a strike from Jason Jones.
Jeff Wright, 0 for 1 in the game. He popped up to the second baseman in the first inning, and he drew a walk in the fourth inning.
And the pitch is going to be a grounder right back to Bill Rogan as he throws the ball to first. Bob Carlson secures it, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. But getting 1 are the Sky Sox, and they bump up the score to 4-0. You're watching NABA baseball right here on goldmasters28.com. Our score here is 4-0 after 6.5 innings of play. Watching NABA baseball, the over 35 league. And our score here going into the bottom of the 6th inning is the Sky Sox 4 and the Orioles nothing. Stepping up to bat is going to be number 44, the pitcher, Jason Jones. And he's going to take a look at the first pitch inside for a ball.
And Jason Jones is 1 for 2 for the Orioles. He had a double in the 3rd inning. And warming up for the Orioles in the bullpen right now is Ken Dolly Molly.
As that pitch is a strike on the outside part of the plate, the fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike. The pitch outside.
Jason Jones is a Colorado State University grad, and he played baseball at CSU, which is pretty cool because there's not a whole lot of college baseball in Colorado, and like to see when somebody played at one of the local schools and played some baseball.
And the 2-1 pitch is another, looks like a curveball outside. Runs the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. And you know, one thing that I've seen, excuse me, Kesa, one thing I've seen from Billy Settlemeyer is he's done a great job in this game is a lot of his pitches have been outside part of the plate. As he brings that one inside, and that's going to be ripped just foul of the line. And as I was talking about a lot of pitches being on the outside, the one time he goes inside to Jason Jones just gets a little bit ahead of that ball.
Boy, that's the one that Billy Settlemeyer is happy that ball went foul because Jason Jones was not fooled on that pitch, and he turned on it and just a couple feet foul.
And with the Orioles being down 4-0, getting late in the game now in the bottom of the 6th inning, it's really important for them to get the leadoff man on base. And they will, as that curveball is going to fly outside, and Jason Jones is going to get on base with the walk.
And Justin, you referred to earlier, we are at Double Angel Field, and this field, if you've never been here, does have a great story. It's been around since 2006, and it was dedicated in 2 young boys' memory, Dylan and Logan Dixie, who were swimming behind a motorboat, and they drowned from carbon monoxide poisoning. And all the proceeds from this field and the Double Angel Foundation all help charity. And as that ball is ripped down the line by Garrick Sasa, and you now have runners on 1st and 2nd with nobody out in the bottom of the 6th for the Orioles. But just back to that Double Angel is just it was a tragic story that their parents found a way, Ken and Bambi Dixie found a way to bring some good out of a tragic situation. And if you want to, just go to their website. It's the Double Angel Foundation, and just learn about what they're doing to help out carbon monoxide poisoning, education on that.
Definitely. A great story. That's going to bring up, as the ball's going to be hitting the dirt, that ball is going to, and advancing on the play are going to be the runners, the 2nd and 3rd, as Steve Brower looks at the first pitch in the dirt. And for the first time, actually for the 2nd time in the game, there's been runners on 2nd and 3rd as Billy Settlemeyer is on the mound.
Yeah, and that's definitely a wild pitch there. Jeff Wright did everything he could to get in front of that ball, but it just took a wicked bounce by him. And this is the Orioles' best chance today to get to Billy Settlemeyer and the Sky Sox.
Especially with no outs in the inning. And who better to have up than pretty much the hitting instructor, Steve Brower, who's going to look at a curveball high and outside for a ball.
Well, this is their opportunity they're looking for, and you've got your 3, 4, 5 hitters coming up for the Orioles, so this is where they want to make their move.
And the pitch is going to be inside, and it looked like it almost hit Steve Brower, the fastball, and Billy Settlemeyer is getting a little bit wild out there.
Well, I am impressed that Steve Brower got away with that ball. I thought that was a hit by pitch for sure, and he found a way to get out of it. As Jeff Wright takes his time getting back behind the plate. Boy, I tell you what, these gentlemen who are a little bit up there in years,
yes.
I have so much respect for them getting down there behind the plate, catching a 9-inning game.
And as you say, they're doing it for the love of the game. And the 3-0 pitch is going to be low and outside, and that's going to walk the bases loaded full for the power hitter, Jopie Willis.
Well, if you're the Orioles, this is what you He's going to leave him in, and we will see as Billy Settlemeyer is going to face Jopie Willis. And this is the opportunity the Orioles have been waiting for the whole game. Before this, they really haven't had a chance. And bases loaded, nobody out. You want to make a move here.
And again, it all started with the leadoff walk to Jason Jones.
And Garrick Sasa is getting a huge lead at second base right now.
And that pitch from Billy Settlemeyer is going to be a ball, as is backhanded by Jeff Wright.
As Billy Settlemeyer sets up in the full windup now, so the base runners can get a big lead.
And the next pitch is a fastball outside for a ball. Pretty important exchange here. Our score here in the bottom of the 6th inning is 4-0 Sky Sox, and there's no outs in the inning. And the 2-0 pitch is going to be a curveball that's going to be just outside, and that's going to run the count to 3 balls and no strikes. And no matter how much power you have, if you're Jopie Willis, you're definitely taking it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he does not have the green light to swing here.
The fastball is going to be in there for a strike, and the count's now 3 balls and 1 strike. And this is where you say it over and over again. If you're Jopie Willis, you're looking at one spot, one location, one pitch, and that's the only thing you're going to swing at here.
This has been a great at bat, and the pitch before that, the 3-1 pitch was really close, and Billy Settlemeyer wanted that. And now Billy Settlemeyer was trying to speed pitch Jopie Willis, and he just decided to step out, and they had a nice little look at each other there.
And now the 3-1 pitch is a changeup that's going to be hit in the hole. It's going to get by the third baseman. One run's going to score here, and another one's going to score. And that base hit 2 RBI single by Jopie Willis is going to plate Jason Jones and Garrick Salsa, and that makes the score Sky Sox 2 and the Sky Sox 4. Check that, and the Orioles 2.
Here's your opportunity, and boy, the Orioles have been plugging away the whole game, and Billy Settlemeyer has been pitching a gem. But right now, in the bottom of the 6th, with the heart of their order up, they're making a dent, and that lead's been trimmed to 2. So we'll see if Bill Rogan, who's up now, can add to that deficit and or chip into that lead as he takes strike 1 from Billy Settlemeyer.
And Bill Rogan was hit the last time he was up, his 5th hit by pitch of the season. And you know what? You could get hit by pitch here, but it's very important for him to get a real good hit, a solid hit here. And the 0-1 pitch is going to be taken outside, and Jeff Wright, the ball gets away from him just a little bit.
But not enough to where the base runners can move up. So the ball back to Billy Settlemeyer, and Bill Rogan is sitting there on a 1-1 count, and this is an opportunity. You got your 5-hole hitter up here, and Bill's an over 300 hitter, or close to 400, and you want to see him make some damage here and maybe put a ball in play.
On the base pass on second base is Steve Brower, as Bill takes a look at a fastball there for a strike, 1 ball to 2 strikes. Got a couple ducks on the pond. Steve Brower and Jopie Willis, who had the 2 RBI single. Important pitch right here for Billy Settlemeyer. And the 1-2 pitch is a curveball. Oh, and it's called ball.
Well, that was a close pitch. Bill Rogan's got a great eye on that one because, boy, from up here, and remember, we're not right down there, so we can't see, but, boy, from up this vantage point, that sure did look like strike 3.
Sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good. Now the 2-2 pitch is going to be a fastball that's going to go low and outside, and now that's going to run the count to full.
Now, this is a case here where you wonder if manager Steve Brower on second base may be running with nobody out, but it also goes back to you don't want to make that first out at third base. But we'll see. Full count to Bill Rogan with 2 men on.
And let's see if Bill could add to his 4 RBIs on the season as he takes a hack. He's going to swing the ball, and that ball is going to go out of play.
That ball looked like it was a little bit up, but you know what? When it's that close, you got to fight it off. And Bill Rogan did a good job getting the bat on the ball and putting it out of play and trying to go back at Billy Settlemeyer on this pitch.
And with the way that Jopie Willis could run at first, if Bill can hit a ball to the gap, you might see a tie game here. And the payoff pitch to Bill Rogan is going to be a pop up in foul territory to third base, and that ball is going to get out of play.
got a good battle going on here between Billy Settlemeyer and Bill Rogan. You got a full count, and Bill Rogan's fouled off 2 pitches. And, boy, this is the Orioles' best chance all day. They've gotten 2 runs to cut the lead from 4-0 to 4-2. And, boy, they sure like to add to this lead and keep this game going.
Again, our score is Sky Sox 4, Orioles 2 in the bottom of the 2nd inning. And the payoff pitch is going to be fouled right down the first base line.
Well, it looks like Bill Rogan is starting to time Billy Settlemeyer here, and this is a great battle. That's the 8th pitch of this at bat. So at this point, when you're playing a game and you got a pitcher and a batter going out, it's now becoming personal. Neither one of them wants to give in, and they both want to put their team on their shoulders and get this at bat. Settlemeyer wants to get Rogan out, and Rogan sure doesn't. He wants to keep the rally going for the Orioles.
As you were saying earlier, Billy Settlemeyer, I believe, has 2 strikeouts in the game so far, so he's not a big strikeout guy. But here's a 3-2 pitch, and as I say, he's not a big strikeout guy. He gets a huge, huge strikeout on a curveball, and Bill Rogan is the first out of the inning.
Well, I tell you what, that was a great pitch by Billy Settlemeyer. That was a curveball, dropped right in the zone, and I think Bill Rogan had given up on it, but at the last minute there, he took a kind of a
defensive swing
at that ball because he knew he was going to drop in. So, and now that brings up Ken Molly still with two runners on and 1 out.
A very big strikeout there by Billy Settlemeyer, and Kill Dolly Molly takes a look at the first pitch for a ball.
Ken Molly is 0 for 1. He walked in the 2nd, and he popped out to the shortstop.
As Billy Settlemeyer takes a look back at 2nd base, retreating back to the base is Steve Brower. And one thing that's interesting is actually Kurt Fisher's kind of scooting back as that curveball is going to be outside. And check that's going to be at 2nd. Actually,
Steve Brower.
It's going to be Carlos Bassi. Carlos Bassi is the guy who was the only guy on the team who is not in the purple for the rest of the Sky Sox. And the ball's going to be thrown back to first. And throw back to 2nd. Check that. And almost getting picked off on the play is the manager, Steve Brower.
Yeah, he did a good job. Boy, that's a case there where that was darn close. Yeah, I thought he'd be sliding there, but he got back, so.
But look at the lead that he has. At least a 3 to 4 stride lead for Steve Brower at 2nd. And this must be really distracting Billy Settlemeyer as that's the 2nd ball.
This is the longest inning that Billy Settlemeyer has been out there on the on the mound. And it's the bottom of the 6th, and he's throwing a lot of pitches.
And here's the pitch. It's going to be another pitch outside. And actually, it's going to be ball 4. And that's going to load the bases. And stepping up to the plate is going to be Marcus Fisher.
So you have the bases loaded with 1 out with Marcus Fisher up, who's 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout.
And for the 2nd time this inning, the bases are loaded and you have nowhere else to put them.
And Marcus Fisher's up, and this is a case where you want to take your time and pick your hit. Billy Settlemeyer's had a few walks this inning, so you definitely want to make him pitch to you.
Would you take the first pitch here?
Oh, absolutely. I think this is a case where a pitcher's tired. You don't go up there hacking right away.
And the first pitch from the left-hander is a curveball down for a strike. Very, very important pitch to get ahead with the bases loaded. And out there in the base pass is Steve Brower at 3rd. At 2nd is Jokeby Willis. As the 2nd pitch is a strike.
Wow, that strike zone got big on that play.
Very, very generous call. 2 strikes now on Marcus Fisher, who had to take an extra step back on that call.
It's one here where you shorten up, you're 0-2, and anything close now you got to battle off, so you want to try and put it in play.
And a fastball inside. It's going to be a ball. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Marcus Fisher. As we said, our score here in the bottom of the 6th inning, the Sky Sox 4 and the Orioles 2, as the Orioles try to tie the ball game with the base hit here. The 1-2 pitch is going to be a curveball that, now that one was outside earlier in the count, there was a similar pitch that was called a strike.
And you can tell Billy Seldemeyer's is a little frazzled about it, which you really can't blame him because 3 pitches before that was called a strike. So, but Michael Warner's done a great job behind the plate tonight. So,
and the high fastball. That fastball there was actually called high, and that's going to run the count full, and you have nowhere else to put him. A huge, huge, huge pitch right here.
So if you're Marcus Fisher, you know you're going to get a pitch to hit, so you're going to, be ready. You got to know it's a fastball count here, so you got to be swinging.
And here's a curveball, and it's going to be hit right back to Billy Seldemeier, who's going to throw the ball to home, get the first out, and he throws, and Jeff Wright throws to first. Sean McNeil for the double play. That's going to be 1, 2, 3 in your scorebook there. Very, very huge double play. And that's going to keep the lead for the Sky Sox. After 6 innings of play, the Orioles do get 2. You're watching NABA Baseball, the 35 and over league, here on GoldMasters28.com. I'm Justin Adams here with Casey Bloyer. Our score here are the Sky Sox 4 and the Orioles 2. And the Orioles had a great chance, even though they got 2 innings on the bottom half of the last inning, they had a great chance to get more. And the pitcher, Billy Seldemeier, got the last batter to hit into a 1, 2, 3, a double play to end the inning.
Yeah, that was a great job by Seldemeier. That inning could have been a lot worse. And the strikeout of Bill Rogan, and then he comes back after that with a walk, and then getting Marcus Fisher to hit right back to the pitcher to get the 1, 2, 3 double play was a great, great job. And now we have a pitching change for the Orioles relieving Jason Jones is Ken Dolly-Molly, who has 2 pitches pretty much. No, 3. He has a fastball, which he has a lot of velocity on, and he has a changeup, and he has a nasty curveball that Steve Brower, the manager of the Orioles, says buckles a lot of batters' knees.
And moving to right field is going to be Mike Zufaletto. It's going to be the first ball of the inning to Billy Seldemeier. And Ken Dolly-Molly throws 2 balls to start off the top of the 7th inning. And here's a 2-0 pitch. There's a curveball that's going to be called a strike on the outside corner of the plate. Billy Seldemeier is 0 for 2 in the game. Flied out and grounded out. That's going to be this curveball is going to be a strike, and it's now 2-2.
And it's not so much what Billy Seldemeyer's done batting today. He's pitched an absolute great game, 2 earned runs through 6 innings.
And the fastball is going to be low and outside. That's going to run the count full.
This is the case here as a reliever. You want to come in and get that batter, especially after your team just put 2 runs on the scoreboard. You want to get 3 up, 3 down, and get back in there and make Seldemeier get back out on that mound.
And the payoff pitch, there's a curveball that's going to be lifted just out of play by Billy Seldemeier. And the count's now 3 balls and 2 strikes.
This is a case here out there where the game's cooled, the weather's cooled off a little bit, but when you're down 4-2, you want to try and keep that bounce in your step to make some good plays.
And the fastball is going to run inside to Billy Seldemeier as Ken Dolly-Molly didn't like the call of home plate umpire Michael Warner. But in any case, Billy Seldemeier is going to get the walk, and he's going to take the free pass to first base.
You know, and we've seen it all game for the Sky Sox. Every time they get an inning where they get a base runner on to lead off the inning, they end up having a pretty good outing. And pinch running for Billy Seldemeier is going to be Scott Potts. Once again, that pinch running rule, the pitcher, catcher, and 1 other person do not have to run. So Scott Potts will be pinch running for Billy Seldemeier.
And now up number 24, Kurt Fisher. Let's take a look at the first pitch for a strike.
Kurt Fisher is 1 for 2 in the ball game. He has a run scored, and he struck out in the 2nd and got a single and scored a run in the 5th.
And the 0-1 pitch, the curveball is going to be hit right back to the screen. It's going to be a 2-strike count to Kurt Fisher.
You can tell Dolly-Molly is really not happy about that walk he just issued. So he's throwing these last 2 pitches with a little bit of authority.
And the 2-strike pitch as number 88, Scott Potts, takes off the second. The ball is going to actually hit the top of the glove of Steve Brower, and there's not going to be a throw made to second base.
I think that's a case there where Brower just came up and he was just trying to catch the ball. I don't think he was going to try and make a throw. Potts got a great jump on that play, so I think Brower was just trying to corral that ball.
So moving into scoring position is going to be Scott Potts. And the count's going to run now to 1-2 on Kurt Fisher. Fisher looks at the curveball inside. Now the count's going to be 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch is a curve and a swing and a miss. And that's going to be a first out of the inning by Kurt Fisher.
That's a great pitch by Dolly Molly there. You could tell he was a little frustrated with that walk, so he did a good job striking out Kurt Fisher.
And now running to talk to Ken Dolly Molly for just a brief second is Garrick Salsa. And now their conference is over. Now stepping up to the plate is going to be Rick Asher, who also has struck out in this game and has walked to the game also. He looks at the first pitch, fastball high and inside for a ball. Again, our score here is the Sky Sox 4, the Orioles 2. In the top of the 7th inning as the curveball goes literally right over the head of Rick Asher.
That's a case there where the curveball did not curve, and Rick Asher did a good job of just kind of moving out of the way, and he did a good job on that. This is Rick Asher's 3rd season in the NABA and his 2nd with the Sky Sox.
Another curveball this time is going to find the middle of the plate.
Here's a little tidbit that's pretty cool about Rick Asher is that his college football coach was Leslie Frazier, who is now the coach of the Minnesota Vikings.
Really?
As he takes another ball in the dirt for ball 3.
And running quickly to the ball is Ken Dolly Molly as it bounces off the catcher, Steve Brower.
But Rick Asher played for Leslie Frazier, now the head coach of the Minnesota Vikings, while he was at Trinity College in Deerfield, Illinois. It's now Trinity International University.
And hopefully, I know this is a baseball game, but hopefully we'll have some football here as a great curveball by Ken Dolly Molly literally almost breaks the back of Rick Asher as he looks at that strike, and now we have a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Our score is the Sky Sox 4 and the Orioles 2. And another curveball is going to be lifted high to left. It's going to get over the head of Mike Zufaletto. Scoring all the play is going to be Scott Potts, and that's going to be a RBI double for Rick Asher. And our score now is the Sky Sox 5, the Orioles 2.
Well, Justin, that was a ball that Rick Asher lifted, and that ball had a lot of carry on it. It just kept going and bounced to the wall, and that ball was the hardest hit ball we've had all day, and was a double and an RBI for Rick on the play. And it goes back to that walk in the first at-bat. Always kind of comes back to haunt the Orioles.
And now with 1 out, stepping to the plate is now going to be Steve Jones, who looks at a first pitch strike right at the knees.
Steve Jones, who is 0 for 2 in this game, who's grounded out to the second baseman and popped out to Steve Jones, the pitcher.
And the second pitch is now going to be a strike. So it's going to be 2 strikes at the swing and miss by Steve Jones.
Steve Jones is the one on that pop-up that hit the ball straight up into the air. And the ball gets by the catcher, Steve Brower, and moving up on the play to third base is going to be Rick Asher, now at third base with 1 out.
And that's going to be a wild pitch on that play. And now you have a run on third base. You're already up 5-2, only with 1 out. You know, if Steve Jones could lift the ball at all to the outfield, it's going to make it pretty much a commanding lead the way that Billy Settlemeyer is pitching today for the Sky Sox.
And the Orioles have now brought the infield in to keep that ball close so they can cut off that runner at home.
With the shift on to Rick, and he's going to swing right through that pitch. It's going to be the second out of the inning. So 2 strikeouts for Ken Dolly Molly this inning. And that's going to bring up Kyle Way. Kyle has walked 2 times this game.
Yes, he has. So officially no at bat, but he's been on the base pass.
Actually, he's walked once and he has one hit, as that curveball is going to go on the inside part of the plate for a ball.
He has a hit and an RBI, I believe. He was the one that drove in Kurt Fisher in the 5th inning.
And the 1-0 count with a runner on third. It's going to be a fastball outside for a ball. Our score here is 5-2. Sky Sox. As that ball goes inside.
That ball came way inside, and Kyle Way did a good job to get out of there and not get hit by that pitch.
2 balls and no strikes to Kyle Way. And the pitch, it's going to be a strike, fastball right down the middle. 2 balls and a strike is the count.
Kyle Way went to college at CU Boulder.
Wow.
Along with DU, so he's got something in common with our Justin Adams.
And he's going to hit the ball to Bill Rogan, who's going to get the ball. He's going to throw it to first, and he just gets Kyle Way on the play. But the Sky Sox score 1. And after 7 1/2, the score here is the Sky Sox 5 and the Orioles 2. Stretch time here at Double Angel Field. You're watching NABA baseball on GoldMasters28.com. Bottom of the 7th inning, our score here is the Sky Sox 5 and the Orioles 2. You're watching NABA baseball on GoldMasters28.com. I'm Justin Adams here with my partner Casey Bloyer. And a real good pitching performance by Billy Settlemeyer, who has only given up 2 earned runs this whole game.
Billy Settlemeyer has been pretty much the story for this game as he throws ball 1 to Bryce Fisher. Bryce Fisher, who is 0 for 2 in the game. He's 0 for 1. Check that. He lined out to first in his first at-bat, and then he drew a walk in the 5th inning.
And the 1-0 pitch is going to be inside. It's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. Now, the one thing that Billy Settlemeyer has to be careful of, as he did the last inning, is walking the leadoff man. As that ball is going to be low. It was right over the plate, but it was low. It's going to be 3 balls and no strikes.
And just what we talked about the last inning with the Orioles, you don't want to get that leadoff runner on. It's the same case with the Sky Sox, because last inning was when the Orioles made a dent on Billy Settlemeyer, and he's looking at a 3-0 count right here and putting the leadoff runner on again.
And right here, Bryce Fisher should be taken all the way, as he does, with the strike right down the middle. Makes the count 3 balls and 1 strike. And right now it's important just to get somebody on base for the Orioles.
You're down 3 runs. Base runners are the key.
As a swing and a miss on that 3-1 offering.
Once again, Billy Settlemeyer has been the story. Battle back from a 3-0 count to make it full. And you're pretty sure that there's going to be a ball somewhere near around the strike zone here. And
the 3-2 pitch is going to be a high fastball. And that's going to be the first walk of the inning.
And there it is. He starts off the inning with the walk to Bryce Fisher, and the Orioles have that leadoff runner on. And you're down 3 runs here. You want to get those runs back. So base runners are the key.
As many ducks on the pond as you can is what you want. Stepping to the plate now is Bob Carlson, who takes a look at the first pitch, and that's a ball.
Bob Carlson in the game is 0 for 2. He hit a liner back to the grounded out to the first baseman, and he flew out to the left fielder.
And the 1-0 pitch is going to be outside. 2 balls and no strikes. And again, it looks like Billy is kind of struggling a little bit with his control at the plate, similar to what happened at the beginning of the last inning. And the 2-0 pitch is going to be inside for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. And yet again, if you're Bob Carlson, you're going to be taking it all the way. And especially if you're Bryce Fisher, you're not even thinking about taking a steal to second base.
No, you need base runners. You're down 3.
And that pitch is going to be outside. 2 men on. And Jeff Wright now is going to speak with Billy Settlemeyer. And will he make a pitching change?
You know, this is a case here where Billy Settlemeyer's pitched a great game. Here he is in the 7th inning, and he's only given up 2 runs. But with back-to-back walks, it sure makes you start to wonder if they're going to go with a pitching change here. As Jeff Wright continues to talk to him.
And running up by his side is the assistant coach, number 24, Kurt Fisher, and they're going to keep Billy Settlemeyer in the game.
So here we are, 7th inning, 2 on, and now with Carlson on at first base, he's going to be pinch run for by Marcus Fisher.
And up to bat is going to be Mike Zufaletto.
Zufaletto is 0 for 2 in the game as well. Grounded out to first in the 3rd, and he flew out to right.
And the first pitch is going to be a high fastball. And let's see, it's going to be very interesting to see if Billy Settlemeyer could do something that he did last inning, and that's to get out of a jam. And the 1-0 pitch is a curveball that's falling outside.
And here's the case with Settlemeyer. You know, he's pitched late into the game here, and a lot of times the first thing to go when you get a little tired, it's not your velocity so much, it's your location. And all these balls have been up and out.
The 2-0 pitch is going to be hit hard right at the second baseman, who steps on first and throws the second in a double play. What a great play right there by Carlos Bassi to start the double play as he steps on second, throws the ball to first to Sean McNeil, and there are now 2 outs in the inning.
And once again, Billy Settlemeyer has just been pretty much the star of this game. He gets the ground ball he needed, and the second baseman, Mike Bassi, just makes a great, but Carlos Bassi, check that, makes a great play, steps on second, throws to first.
And now the first pitch is a high ball outside to Jason Jones.
Jason Jones is 1 for 2 in this game. He flew out to center in the 1st, got a double in the 3rd, and walked in the 6th.
And another high fastball. It looks like Billy Settlemeyer had a little bit extra behind that pitch right there as that ball goes high and inside.
Once again, I think this is the case here. If Billy Settlemeyer gets out of this inning, Justin, I think this may be his last inning. I think we may see a reliever after this inning. He's pitched a heck of a game.
And now the 2-0 pitch is a curveball that lays in the dirt for a ball. 3 balls and no strikes. Jason Jones up to bat. He's going to look at a fastball inside for a strike, take it all the way. There are 2 outs in this inning. At third base is Bryce Fisher. He was on in a walk. He was the first walk, actually, earlier in this inning. And on 3-1 pitch is going to be fouled out of play by Jason Jones, and that's going to run the count full. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Our score here is the Sky Sox 5 and the Orioles 2. You're watching NABA baseball on GoldMasters28.com as Jason Jones hits a ball high to center, and it's going to fall right in front of Carlos Bassi. Scoring on the play is going to be Bryce Fisher on the play.
And there's a pop-up that I think Carlos Bassi was playing in so much that when he got back there in time, but he just couldn't get his head around to make the play. And that's going to be another run for the Orioles. And the Orioles are showing fight. They're battling here. And the Sky Sox are going to stay with Billy Settlemeyer in this game.
You know what? We'll forgive Carlos for that play here, especially with the double play that he made earlier in this inning.
You know, that was just a tough play. He had to get back, and he just couldn't get his head turned around as Garrick Sasa fouls that pitch off to the left. Garrick Sasa up for his 4th time, and I believe he has 2 walks, and he struck out once.
I have that too. I have something very similar.
No, actually, his last time up, he had a single. I apologize.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
so strikeout, a walk, and a single for Garrick Sasa.
And leading off from first, and the pitch actually is going to be a hard hit ball, and the shortstop is not going to be able to get that one. You're going to have runners on first and second.
Garrick Sasa with a nice line drive hit right up the middle, and the Orioles are in the running again here with 2 outs and a man on first and second with a run in already. They're knocking at the door, and once again, the heart of that lineup's coming up. So they're battling back, and this is an opportunity they need right here. And I think this is the case where here we go. The Sky Sox finally are going to make a pitching change for Billy Settlemeyer, who leaves the game after 6 2/3, giving up 3 earned runs right now with 2 on that are still on his hook. But what a great game for Billy Settlemeyer.
And warming up is going to be number 28 for the Sky Sox. Billy Settlemeyer is going to be out the game.
Stop the bleeding here for the Sky Sox and stop this rally for the Orioles. Stepping in now for the Orioles is Steve Brower, who is 0 for 2 in this game with a walk.
Definitely, this is a huge at-bat, as taking off from second is going to be number 44.
Jason Jones, and that is a gutsy play right
Definitely.
there with 2 outs. To take third base, that is you never want to make the third out at third base. And Jason Jones, you know what though, Justin, he got a huge.
You know what? He must have saw something in the warm-up pitches that Lou Lerner had earlier to get a jump like that, and now Lou Lerner's going to step off the mound, right there. So there's going to be runners on the corners now, as the first pitch is going to be a ball. It's going to be covered up in the dirt, and running to second is going to be number 13, Garrick Salsa.
And there's a case where the Sky Sox were kind of not paying attention. Runners in scoring position where base hit's going to score 2. Lou Lerner is a relief pitcher, and he has some minor league experience. He's not going to overpower you, but he does have some crafty stuff with a curveball, effective fastball.
And now with a base hit, this game could be tied. It's going to be a curveball that's going to float high, and the count's going to be 2 balls and no strikes. And it's easy to forget that, even how as dominant as Billy Settlemeyer has pitched all game long, a base hit here, and we have a brand new ball game.
And this is Lou Lerner's first year with the Sky Sox on that as a pitch that he walks Steve Brower on 4 pitches, and now you have the bases loaded once again with that big bat for the Orioles. Jopie Willis coming up to hit.
And the last time Jopie was up, he had a 2 RBI single. So definitely, if they get another hit here from Jopie Willis, we're going to have a tie ball game.
Here's something pretty cool, Justin, about Lou. He never met the manager, Jeff Wright, before the season started.
Yeah.
Jeff Wright picked him to be on the team just by reputation alone that he was a good ball player. So he's on the team with the Sky Sox. Like I said, he's not going to overpower you, but he does hit his spots, is the report that we got from the manager.
Well, let's see how his reputation does here, especially with the bases loaded now. 2 outs and the power hitter, Jopie Willis, up. The first pitch to Jopie is going to be a rocket right down to third. Getting the ball is going to be Steve Jones, who tags out the runner, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. Garrick Salsa was the runner who was tagged out, and a lot of ducks left on the pond. Bases were left loaded, and after 7 innings of play, the Sky Sox are up 5-3. Again, here with Casey Bloyer, our score here is the Sky Sox 5, the Orioles nothing. Going into the top of the 8th inning, leading off is going to be Ryan Barrett, who takes a look at a first pitch curveball by Ken Dalimali for a strike. Last inning, the Orioles had the bases loaded, and Jopie Willis grounded out to third. The second pitch is going to be a curveball in for a strike on the inside part of the plate.
Ryan Barrett looks like in the game here he is 2 for 2.
And that foul ball is going to be out of play.
He has 2 singles, I believe, and a couple RBIs, correct, Justin?
2 singles and 2 RBIs. 2 singles and 1 RBI, check
1
that.
RBI, there we go.
And the 2-strike pitch is going to be a little bit outside.
This is Ryan Barrett's 3rd year in the NABA, 2nd consecutive, so he must have played a year and then took a year off. And Ryan was a tennis player in high school, and he attended the University of Northern Colorado.
As that ball is going to be hit to the first baseman, Bob Carlson secures the ball, and that's going to be the first out of the inning.
That was a pitch there that Dolly Molly got in on the hands of Ryan Barrett and got him to pop it out to the first baseman. So he starts off that inning without the leadoff runner on.
Definitely, and that's very important, especially now that they are, they've been down the whole game, and with needing to rally, needs to make sure to get a 1-2-3 inning here for the Orioles. As coming up to the plate is Carlos Bassi.
As he fouls off that first pitch. Carlos Bassi's 0 for 1. He has a sac fly in the 3rd, and he popped out to the shortstop.
And the 0-1 pitch is going to be fouled off. The Sky Sox have scored 2 in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th inning, 1 in the 6th inning, and 1 in the 7th inning, and that's how they have their 5 runs. Score here is 5-3, top of the 8th inning. Here at Double Angel Field is a curveball. Little chin music there.
That's a ball that I think Dolly Molly expected to break a little bit more and didn't. Got up around the chin of Carlos Bossi.
Now the 1-2 pitch from Ken Dolly Molly is going to be a curveball that swung on and missed and held into the glove from Steve Brower. Is going to be the 2nd out of the inning.
Nice strikeout there by Dolly Molly, and two quick up, 2 down, and your team put a run up in the last inning and had a lot of guys on base. So Dolly Molly's trying to get back into that dugout and get back out on the field and make some hits.
Now up is Jim Godley. And I'll tell you what, if you're Ken Dolly Molly, the way that Alex Bolita has been hitting the ball 3 for 3 in this game, has a RBI, you definitely do not want anybody on base. You want to go and get Jim Godley right now.
Yes, Jim Godley, and Jim Godley in the game is 0 for 3, but he reached on an error and scored in the 6th inning.
And that ball's going to be outside. It's going to be 2 balls.
Jim Godley originally, Justin, from Savannah, Georgia, but now he resides in Littleton, Colorado, and he played baseball and football in high school and attended Troy for college.
Wow. Troy University. Well, a Troy University grad is going to pop this one high to the left fielder, calls off everybody, secures the ball, and that's going to be the 3rd out of the inning. 3 up, 3 down, going down after 8.5 innings of play. Our score is the Sky Sox 5 and the Orioles 3. You're watching NABA Baseball on GoldMasters28.com. Stick around with us. Bottom of the 8th inning, as we go into the bottom of the 8th inning, the Sky Sox 5 and the Orioles 3.
Here's a case here where Lou Lerner came in the bottom of the 7th to relieve Billy Settlemeyer, and he came in and did the job. The Orioles got 1 run after that. No, they didn't.
They got 1.
Yeah, they got 1 run after that, but he closed the door, and he's looking to keep it going here as he relieves Billy Settlemeyer. And after this first pitch, I'll explain why Billy Settlemeyer had a great outing.
And the first pitch to Bill Rogan, who struck out last time he was up. And I believe he struck out with the bases loaded.
Yeah, it was a key situation, and that was a tough out for Bill Rogan. That was something that he probably need, and he'll tell you, he'll be the first to tell you that he needs to put that ball in play. And Billy Settlemeyer made a great pitch. And Billy Settlemeyer has been in the NABA 18 years.
Oh, wow.
So there's nothing new to him.
And he's going to take not Billy Settlemeyer, but Lou Lerner. He's going to throw his 2nd pitch outside for a ball. 2-0 count to Bill Rogan, who's going to look at the 3rd pitch outside for a ball. Bill has had a tough day, had a strikeout, a ground out to the pitcher, and also been hit by a pitch. So he has gotten on, but he's gotten on the hard way.
Yeah, and it all goes back to that at-bat with the bases loaded. And Bill Rogan's trying to get things started here in the 8th inning.
And there's a shift put on for Bill Rogan as that fastball's outside for a strike. And we've seen that shift from the Sky Sox before in this game.
Which Bill Rogan hits to all fields, so if that ball gets out there, he'll shoot it up the middle.
But he's going to take that pitch outside for a ball, and yet again, the Orioles get their leadoff man on with the ball.
Yep,
with the walk.
And every time both teams have got the leadoff runner on, they've scored runs. So, and just one more tidbit on Billy Settlemeyer there, Justin. He played on one of the original 8 Denver teams from the NABA when it first started here in, I believe it was '97. So he played for the River Bandits. So that's pretty big deal to be on the original 8 teams.
And Lou Lerner's going to throw the ball back to first base to chase Bill Rogan back to the base. Step it up now. As the first pitch is going to be in there for a strike.
To Ken Dolly Molly, who is 0 for 1 this game with 2 walks.
And it doesn't matter how you get on, either by a hit or whatever. It's very important that as the ball is going to be thrown outside, 1 ball and 1 strike, that Ken Dolly Molly just gets on.
So far, we got a very competitive game here in the bottom of the 7th. The Sky Sox lead the Orioles 5-3.
As Bill Rogan starts to go like he was, he looks like he was going to run to second. It stops and goes back to first as Lou Lerner throws the ball back. And again, this is a very important game for both teams on the playoff standings. As that pitch is taken inside, 2 balls and 1 strike.
Once again, this is the season standings. The Orioles that are in the American League are 2-5, 4 games back of the Mudcats with about half of the season left, and the Sky Sox are 1-5 in the National League, 4 games back of the Rebels. So both teams need this win very badly.
And Lou Lerner's going to throw the 2-1 pitch, curveball inside for a ball, 3 balls and 1 strike. Definitely not the thing that you want to see for the Sky Sox.
Lou Lerner stepping off the mound here. Looks like he's trying to collect himself, and definitely don't want to give free passes. Make them earn it here, especially in the late game with having the lead.
Would you add Alston, Bill Rogan here?
Absolutely not. You're down 2 runs.
And the 3-1 pitch is going to be inside for ball 4. And Lou Lerner has walked the first 2 men out in this inning. And Jeff Wright, the catcher, seems to be he's going to make a pitching change here. And Lou Lerner is going to be replaced.
I think they're still deciding.
They're still going to decide it. And out running from the dugout is going to be number 88, Scott Potts.
So Scott Potts takes over for Lou Lerner, who walked 2 on, who did a good job of relieving Billy Settlemeyer, but he walked the first 2 men here, and Scott Potts is going to take some warm-up pitches. So we're going to step away for just 1 second, and you are watching NABA baseball on Goalmaster 20. Scott Potts on the mound here, and he is a good reliever. He throws some good pitches here. Manager Jeff Wright said that when he's in the strike zone, he's very good. It's just making sure that he is in the strike zone.
And a huge, huge sequence here with number 77, Marcus Fisher, up to hit. And the first pitch is going to be low in the dirt. The first pitch is going to be in the dirt.
Marcus Fisher, 0 for 2, and he walked in the second, struck out in the 5th. And then he's the one that hit in that key double play in the 6th that got Settlemeyer out of the jam.
The 1-0 pitch. It's going to be a curveball inside for a ball, 2 balls and no strikes.
That is a tough ball to take right there. That was close on the inside corner, but home plate umpire Michael Werner not giving the call to Scott Potts.
The 2-0 pitch with Bill Rogan at second base is going to be a strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. Again, earlier in this inning, Bill Rogan got on earlier with on a walk, and
along with
Ken Dollymolly, yes, he got on also with the walk. Ken Dollymolly is not being held on. He has a huge lead. And that curveball is going to be inside. Getting out of the way of that pitch was number 77, Marcus Fisher. So that moves the count to 3 balls and 1 strike.
Here's a case again where you just need to throw strikes and let your defense do it behind you.
The 3-1 pitch is going to be in the dirt. And the bases are going to be loaded for Bryce Fisher.
Justin, this is the case here in the 8th inning. This is the 3rd straight inning for the Orioles that they've had the bases loaded. They had the bases loaded in the 6th, the 7th, and now in the 8th. And they only have 3 runs to show for it. So at some point, you got to take advantage of these opportunities with base runners on, especially with the 3-hour rule that the NABA has. The games are only 3 hours long, so if you start an inning at the 3-hour point, the home plate team gets a chance to bat, and we're right at the time limit here. I don't know how close we are, but here's a case where this may be the last chance for the Orioles.
The bases are loaded, and there's nowhere to put them. The first pitch from Scott Potts is going to be a ball to number 21, Bryce Fisher.
Here's a case where if you're Scott Potts, you want to throw strikes, make them beat you. Don't put another base runner and walk a run in.
And also warming up is Kurt Fisher in the bullpen for the Sky Sox. The 1-0 pitch is going to be a curveball that's high, 2 balls and no strikes. And right now, for Bryce Fisher, you're going to be taking all the way.
Absolutely. You've got all 3 runners in this inning are on from walks, and you are not going to swing the bat right here and try and hit your team out of a rally.
On third, Bill Rogan. On second base, Ken Dollymolly. And on first base, Marcus Fisher. The 3-0 pitch is going to get behind the catcher, and it's going to hit the backstop, and Bill Rogan's going to retreat and stay at third base. And there's really no need for Bill actually to run on a play like that, especially with the bases loaded.
No, you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. This is a case where you're waiting. The pitcher's thrown 3 straight balls. You're not going to run and then maybe run yourself out of that rally. So it's a case where you stay still and let the batter at the plate decide this inning.
And now going to the mound is going to be catcher and manager Jeff Wright. And seems to be talking to Scott Potts. And as I said earlier, warming up in the bullpen was Kurt Fisher. So they're going to have a little conference, and now they've finished talking.
And once again, to go back to that 3-hour rule, if the visiting team starts an inning after the 3-hour rule, well, obviously the home team still gets their at-bat, but that's the last inning then. Let's say we're in the 7th and that happens, that's the last inning. So we're in the 8th, and we're getting pretty close to the time limit, so it'll be interesting to see how the umpires call this.
And last week the Orioles came back. They were down 1, and they tied the game 9-9 as that pitch is down, right down the middle for a strike. But, yeah, last week the Orioles were down 9-8 going into the 9th inning.
They tied it up, but they ran out of time.
Exactly. So we could see the same thing happen again.
It's a 3-1 count here to Bryce Fisher.
And that pitch is going to be outside. Ball 4 coming home is going to be Bill Rogan, and that's going to make the score. The Sky Sox 5 and the Orioles 1, and now the tying run is on third base, and the game and the leading run, actually the go-ahead run, is now in scoring position.
This is the case here where, it's a 3-1 count. I was 100% positive that Bryce Fisher was not swinging that bat. And there you have it. Yeah, you walked a run in. And this is a case where, as a Sky Sox, you just got to be a little frustrated because not one Oriole has hit a ball this inning, and you've walked all the base runners out there.
And it's just self-inflicted wounds when you walk a team. At least make them have contact. Your outfield has done very well so far in the game. As Scott Potts throws the first pitch right down the middle for a strike.
Bob Carlson's 0 for 2 in the game, but with a walk in the 7th inning.
And it's smart on Bob Carlson's part to take the first pitch as he slaps that one, and it's going to get right by the shortstop. It's going to score 1. Holding up on the play is Ken Dolly Molly at third base. And the score is now tied at 5. We have a brand new game. Bob Carlson with a huge game-tying single to left.
That ball just had eyes. It bounced maybe 10 times through that artificial turf that we've talked about, and it just bounced right through to tie this game up. And that was a great job by third base coach Jopie Willis to hold the runner because the left fielder came charging in the ball very well.
And actually scoring on the play, check that, is going to be Ken Dolly Molly who scored on the play. Going to third is Marcus Fisher, who was held up. The bases are still loaded. We have no outs, and now up to bat is number 5, Mike Zufaletto. And there's still no outs in this inning.
And the Sky Sox have brought in an outfielder, and they have 5 infielders right now with just 2 outfielders.
And the first pitch is going to be a curveball right down the middle for a strike. And I think as you spoke of the 3-hour rule, it looks like the Sky Sox know the importance of this at-bat right here and know that a base hit pretty much wins the game. The 0-1 pitch is going to be a ball hit to short. It's going to be thrown home to Jeff Wright. And that's going to be an out on the play.
That was a great play by the shortstop there. And
we have number 21. You have everybody pretty much coming down.
Yeah, exactly.
Jim Gottlieb made a very great play.
That was a tough ball that was bouncing on that artificial turf again. And he made a great play. He nailed the runner at home. And now you have Jason Jones up, who had a good day at the plate. He's 2 for 3 in the game, and he has a run scored.
Mike Zufaletto is going to be on first on a fielder's choice. And now it's another ball hit right to third. The ball's going to be hit. The ball's going to be thrown home, and it's going to be the second out of the inning. So 2 huge pitches by Scott Potts. And so now it's 2 outs in the inning. Bases are still loaded, though. Now for Garrick Salsa. And with 2 outs and the 3-hour rule that you're talking about, this is pretty much the game here. A base hit here was sure to win the game for the Orioles if they're going with the 3-hour rule, and the first pitch is going to be outside for a ball.
This is the case here with your Scott Potts. You've gotten 2 good ground balls. Hey, don't go away from that. Use your defense once again to get you out of this. Garrick Sasa, once again, has had a good game. He scored a run, had a single, base on balls.
And a swing and a miss on that 1-0 offering from Scott Potts. Just to set it up for you, the bases were loaded earlier in the game, all on walks.
Yes.
The Orioles scored 1 run on a walk. Then they scored another run on a base hit. And now the score is tied at 5-5. And the ball's going to be hit right into the gap. 1 run will score, and that's going to be the game.
What a great hit by Garrick Sasa to just come through in the clutch on that play. He hits a base hit through the hole with 2 outs and the bases loaded, and the Orioles come all the way back to win this game 6-5. And what a tough game for Billy Settlemeyer, who's pitched 6 2/3 and gave up 3 earned runs for the Sky Sox. And wow, what a tough one for the Sky Sox, but what a great game for the Orioles to come back and find a way to win this game.
Definitely, and improving to 3-5 on the season are going to be the Orioles. Falling to 1-6 are going to be the Sky Sox. A huge hit by Garrick Sasa to score Bryce Fisher. Again, our score, because of the 3-hour rule, as you spoke of, is going to be our final score, the Orioles 6 and the Sky Sox 5. We're going to have a post-game interview with the player of the game right after this. You're watching NABA Baseball on GoldMasters28.com.
Welcome back to NABA Baseball on GoldMaster28.com. I'm standing here with Garrick Sasa, who had the game-winning hit in the bottom of the 8th inning to put the Orioles up a win, 6-5 over the Sky Sox. Garrick, your team had the bases loaded in the last 3 innings. What was going through your mind on that last at-bat there?
Basically just put the ball in play with 2 outs. It's couldn't have written a better script. I managed that team last year, so it was great to come up and actually put the ball in play for a win.
Absolutely, and like we said, with the bases loaded in those three innings, and you guys a couple weeks ago had a tie, and that's just got to be frustrating. Was that in your mind at any point in that last at-bat?
Not really. I mean, kissing your sister is a tie, so there's no way. For my opinion, there's no ties in baseball.
Absolutely. Once again, I'm with Garrick Sasa, the NABA Player of the Game in the 35 and over league for GoldMaster28.com. Once again, congratulations, Garrett, and good luck on the rest of your season.
Thank you.
Once again, we thank you for watching NABA Baseball on GoldMaster28.com. I'm Casey Bloyer along with Justin Adams. And Justin, we had an 8-inning game where for most of the game, the Sky Sox looked like they were going to win this game hand over fist with Billy Settlemeyer, who pitched 6 2/3 innings, only giving up 3 earned runs. You got to be impressed with his outing, but this has to be frustrating for the Sky Sox. What do you think?
Definitely impressive from what the Sky Sox did earlier on in the game. A lot of great performances. Alex Molina went 3 for 3 with an RBI in this game. Billy Settlemeyer, as you say, what else can you say about him? Great performance. But again, it comes back to whenever you walk the leadoff man, it's going to bite you back in the end. And the bases were loaded 3 times for the Orioles, and it just so happened that in the last part, in the bottom of the 8th inning, was when it actually finally caught up with them.
Absolutely. It was a great game here today. Beautiful weather at Double Angel Field. Thank you for watching NABA Baseball on Goldmaster 28. For Justin Adams and I'm Casey Bloyer, we thank you for watching the game, and hit them where they ain't.